Welcome to Around the Mage Table. This is episode 70 of the podcast for the rest of us. I am joined by my fellow donkeys. How's everyone doing today? We'll start with you. We'll start with you, Ayaski. How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good. All right. What about you, Scrapclaw?
The snow just started at my house, so I'm very excited.
Yep. We're recording on a Saturday, which is very strange for us, but we're doing that because Scrap and I are both worried that we'll lose power. And you know, we've made a promise, a commitment. We're going to hit episode 100 by BlizzCon. We're only allowed 2 episodes to skip, and we are not wasting it on this stupid snowstorm.
I low-key think it's inevitability that I'm going to lose power because my power company was emailing me that you should you should be charging your phone.
Hey, we're really worried about your house.
Yeah, from the my electric company. It's like, okay. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose power tomorrow.
Well, we don't need to worry about Lithium losing power because that man is a self-made man. He has everything he could possibly need in that little house of his. I see a Horde banner. I see an Alliance banner playing for both teams. Lithium, how you doing?
Candles. I have candles. It's fine. I don't need power.
I don't see a flicker in that candle. That looks a little strange.
It's cold out here in the Midwest. It's like 4 degrees outside. So it'll be cold for the rest of the week. So looking forward to that.
Yep. So if you're one of us that hopefully are watching this huddled around a little space heater and no power, and you just happen to be lucky enough to have a generator, we welcome you to the episode. As I mentioned earlier, we are on our drive to BlizzCon. We have 30 more episodes to put up. Well, actually 29 more episodes to put up before we get there. Please continue to like and subscribe. You guys have been awesome. You've been giving us that little algo bump. The comment section has been great. Although someone said that I interrupt Scrap too much, and I keep going, come on. What? But all right, we'll get over ourselves on that one. Not going to be Toxie. We're going to be Quazii. We'll talk more about that later. But are you guys ready to get into the episode? Because we've had our pre-patch launch, and it's been spicy to say the least. Are you guys great? Yeah? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start with the UI, because I feel like that's the one place that seems to be on fire right now. And I'm going to start with an interview that PC Gamer put out this week that said, essentially says more changes are to come. Now, no specifics onto it, but I feel like this is the first time we've heard them talk, even like during the beta cycle before pre-patch was even, I think, announced. And granted, they had the holidays, so they weren't home or weren't at the work. But this is the first time we've heard them say like, hey, this is not a one and done scenario. So far, I think, Scrap, you've played all base UI, is that right?
Yeah, I have no add-ons.
Okay. Ayaski, I think you have add-ons. In fact, do you want to take a second to tell us where do we buy yours and how much it's going for right now?
Yeah, sure. So based on some things that we'll probably talk about at some point, I've decided that I can't rely on the add-on developers to continue developing their add-ons, so I am all base UI as well now.
I thought was the picture you posted earlier base UI?
Yeah, that was all base UI.
Okay.
I said the only things you need for it are World of Warcraft subscription and Midnight. Those are the only 2 things you need, and you can Venmo me $20. I'll give you the settings.
So you have a Patreon going just to pay for your sub.
Yep.
Sorry, Scrap, you were saying?
I'll say how much was what's his name selling them for? That was all drama.
Some of them were for either Patreon subscriptions and or Twitch subs, so anywhere from like $5 to $10 maybe.
Yeah, let's
I don't
just
know.
put 5 to 10 is
why do you justify $20 and you're not even using that?
Because it's a joke, Scrap.
Oh, I thought it was real.
Guys, Ayaski has promised to stand up for himself more in front of Scrapclaw and her tyranny of just bullying all of us. So Ayaski, we stand behind you, bud.
The comment said you guys need to stop interrupting me.
Just the one. Lithium,
just the one.
What are you running with your UI?
Well, I'm waiting for Elf UI to drop a stable release, but I was running Nef UI, but I guess they're not doing their thing anymore.
Elf should be out this weekend.
Yeah, it's supposed to be out this weekend. But I got Plater I'm trying to work with. I got Details that is messed up. I got of course I have MDT, I got Skywriting Falcon, Warp Deplete, and I'm trying out Big Wigs, and a couple others that I'm playing with. So I'm trying some different things out, and they're all pretty good. They're not bad. I just got to figure out what I'm waiting for Elf to drop to see what theirs is like. But we'll see.
So
Gotta keep it
Lithium's
clean.
the only one that has jumped headfirst into it. Although I ask, it sounds like maybe you dabbled in and pulled back out. Is that right?
Yeah,
Pulled
I
out.
was also using yeah, pulled out. I was
6 and
also
9, nice.
using Nef UI, which it wasn't perfect because I also had to do
No.
some like a cooldown manager centering, and I also had Lucthos's profile for that. So on Frostmage specifically, sometimes the icons would spread out all across the screen. So it definitely still needed some fixing. But but I eventually decided, especially once Nephew I also said they were going to cease development, that I don't want to get used to something and then have
Yeah.
to keep changing. So I'm just gonna try to stick with base, and then as I play throughout the season, if I find okay, I need some help here, I'll see if there's something good and reliable to pick up then.
Which has been the advice of some of the streamers out there, saying like, look, spend the pre-patch trying to make the base UI work because it is going to be volatile in the add-on world, and that was said before the news we'll talk about today.
Before QuaziiGate.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, I have played a lot this week with the base UI. Have you guys felt that it is in a state that is good enough? And I'm gonna let you decide what good enough means. So we'll start with Ioski.
Good enough, yes. For what I play specifically, I think Holy Paladin especially, it's actually very good because anything you would need to track buff wise is in the cooldown manager. The cooldown manager does a good job keeping track of how many charges you have of your abilities and letting you know when they're off cooldown and giving you everything you need. And since you don't have as many abilities now, you know, it's pretty clean. You don't have a bunch of stuff you need to keep tracking and worrying about. So it's less than if you had more. But oh yeah, that's that's something. Those frames themselves are, I think they're fine, but they could definitely be better, and hopefully we'll get a good add-on or good customization for those eventually. But yeah, I think it's good enough. There's some classes I think there's some dot classes that still have some issues with their dot showing up on the nameplates. There's hot classes with their hot showing up on the frame, so there's definitely still some work to be done. But I think if someone went into it and they didn't want to use add-ons, I think they could make something with what's available that is good enough.
So this is the workaround, right? And base UI, there is no workaround, but the quote unquote terrible workaround, the terrible solution, is I guess there's an add-on. I don't know what the name of it is, but do you see it?
No, but I wouldn't want anyone to see it and get this because this is so stupid.
And this just seems like a bad time.
Wow.
Right? Like I'd rather have the problem of trying to find it in the sea of everything than this, right? Because this just like takes me out of the gameplay. But anyways, so like their workaround right now, and again, I'm empathetic to it because it sucks. I'm not going to say it doesn't. But their workaround is they're just like making an add-on that will effectively display a color when you have one buff and not a different color if you have a different buff on them. And that's how you whitelist it.
All right.
Here's I guess a second
Nothing wrong with
version.
that.
Did you see the entire raid frames going on cooldown, or them switching colors in the middle, or everything else that's wrong with it?
Oh, look at this, jeez.
How much health do they have? Like,
yeah,
I mean, that's weird. That one's weird, but
well, I mean, Lithium, again, you jumped into the add-ons. Why did you decide to do that instead of starting with the base?
You should get Grid 2. Grid 2 is pretty good, and they're constantly doing updates. I just like my I like my UI to look a certain way, and I'm trying to replicate the way that it looked before, without causing a bunch of Lua errors that keep popping up. I think we were doing like a 15 or 16 key, like a floodgate, and all these Lua errors kept popping up, and I was just dealing with it while I was tanking. It was fine. It was just kind of annoying, but no, I'm just trying some different things out to make it kind of look clean. I don't like a lot of clutter.
Why did you not give the base UI a chance?
I did. I just switched off Nef because of what's happened today, but or yesterday or whenever that happened. But the base UI is fine. I think that the look and feel is very clunky to me, and it's very it seems very bulky, and I just like I like things to be a little more tightened up. But again, all my add-ons are just look and feel. Like there's nothing that adds functionality at all. It's all just look and feel stuff, and it's all preference.
What was it? That Scrap said earlier. You're poisoned by those toxic minimalist UIs.
Yeah, the
or whatever.
minimalist. I've never used cooldown manager, so I don't understand why you use it instead of just having action bars. Like, when did that shift happen?
A
It's
long
like-
time
It's
ago.
bizarre
always-
to me.
Yeah, a long
Yeah, I've
time ago.
always used something in the middle
The-
there. Like
What?
that's how I track all
Well,
my
I mean,
stuff.
I put my action bars in the middle because then,
Yeah,
like what I said
yeah.
earlier is that like, what if my keyboard explodes mid combat and then I can click on the things because you can't click on
Well,
them. In
my
the
bars
cooldown
are
manager.
my bars are
true.
hidden.
By the way,
I just
Scrap's
put
the
my
only
mouse
person
over
that's
'em.
worried about her keyboard exploding in mid combat. But anyway,
No,
sorry,
I'm not.
go
I
on
just,
with it.
I just feel like the cooldown manager is your action bars with removed functionalities. So like, why does
Well-
literally everyone use it? I don't understand what
So,
it does.
it's-
What it tells you.
Originally, before you could put the bars, before the bars would always glow with the procs, a weak aura
Yeah.
could tell you a specific ability when it was going to proc. Now the reason why I use it specifically is because on the base bars, they don't make your ability white when it's on cooldown. And if I'm just quickly glancing at it, if I see the fact that it's got the little black going around, but when the black's coming back around to show you it's back on cooldown, the icon will be mostly lit up, but it won't be pressable. And that really throws me off because I'm so used to it being like desaturated that when I just see even that little bit of light, I'm like, wait, why is this ability not working? Oh, it's not off cooldown yet. So
I have a solution for that because I've had an issue where it's like
Oh my gosh.
it's like
Here we
all
go.
black except for like a little sliver, but like
Yeah.
in that icon, the art was black in that area, so you can't tell the difference between there's a little sliver left or not. I make a macro, I pick a different icon that has like bright red or like something
Oh.
similar, but like a different color, so
Yeah,
it's
but
more
that's-
obvious. And so
That's like
I've
a
done-
I've
always
sloppy,
done that.
you know, hey, this is what we're doing. We're
I
gonna
mean-
make it the potion vial as the icon so you can clearly see.
Well, I mean, like if let's say it's wildfire bomb or something, it's like I just find a different bomb that's more orangey. Like currently my fucking flame fang pitch, I didn't like the icon, so I just picked a different one when I made my macro. That's more like bright orange.
The cooldown manager helps me. Well, the way I have it set up, it helps me just keep track of stagger and some of the other things. But also, I like my cooldowns. I like certain cooldowns kind of grouped in the middle, and then it tracks all my buffs.
You can
so
put your action bars in the middle.
No, but
I'm
you
not
can't
gonna put
track
my
buffs
action
on
bars
that.
there.
You can't. You like
Yeah,
the buffs
like-
and
No,
stuff.
no.
are-
Okay, so I have the
Like
So
here.
I have the buff tracking, but I don't
Yeah, I
understand.
know
don't,
you do.
You don't use the cooldown manager then.
No, because I
No.
can see my cooldowns on my action.
She
bars.
doesn't.
No,
I-
but like
I-
I get what you're saying,
I
Scrap.
don't
You could do that.
understand.
You could
the
do that. I get it.
functionality of it.
No,
And,
Yeah.
and that's okay. That's okay. It's all preference, man. It's
Yeah.
not like the end of the world.
I'm just asking questions. Why do you have that? Like, why?
the way I
'Cause
look
I
at it,
like it.
Scrap. The way I look at it, Scrap, is
Okay,
that like okay,
that's
so
valid.
I might have 2 buttons that I want to know the cooldowns of at any given time, but then there's
Yep.
of course like
Yeah.
the 6 buttons. Okay, so for an enhancement shaman, right? I want to know when crash lightning is off cooldown because that's kind of important to keep
Okay.
uptime on, right? So I just put that button, maybe, you know, again, maybe like Storm Strike with it as well, just so I can see both of them at any given time. Even though they're on my bar, I don't want to have my bars up in my face because like, that's like real estate to see swirls and stuff. So I just put those 2 right underneath my character so I can always see what is going on at any given time. And as we know now with the cooldown manager, you know, you can do the marching ants or the flash or whatever. And even
Yeah,
audio, which
Marching
we'll talk
Ants, Lithian.
We'll talk about that, Scrap, in a second because I heard you had some struggles with that. But the
I
point
had
is,
an
is like
extended
you're not
crash
trying to
out.
put you're not trying to put the entire action bar on it, nor are you trying to because like when you
But
keep buying
Lithian
stuff,
does.
maybe
I
and
don't.
that's but even
Like,
then
I don't
that's
have
his personal
Tiger Palm.
preference.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see the cooldown of Tiger Palm, or I don't want to see the cooldown of like. There's certain. I group
What's
what I
crazy to
care
me is
about
that
right
you
in the
can't
middle.
see Tiger Palm on your screen at all. You just press
Yeah, I
it.
know.
Yeah, 'cause
I
it's-
don't like
it's-
that.
well,
It's-
Tiger Palm doesn't have a cooldown
Yeah.
though. That's
I-
why.
It's
Well,
just
those
if
are
he has the energy,
based,
he
but
can
I
use
don't
it.
want to see. I don't want to see the. I don't want to see the button in my cooldown area. Like I just want to see certain things that I care about,
I guess
not
I
the things
understand.
that are always
that.
available.
I understand that more. Like that you don't need to see Tiger Palm
You
because you can press
freaked
it
out
anytime you
about
want.
you freaked out about 2 buffs. It took us an hour
I
to
I
sort
know.
out 2 buffs.
I don't have objects or permanents like you do though. It's like I need to see that I have Raptor Strike at all times, even though I know I have it available at all times. Like I can press it anytime I want, but I want to be able to see it like that. So
I mean,
that's a me problem. I get.
do you wanna talk about how clunky it is to set up a cooldown
Yeah.
manager?
Yeah,
Can
okay.
I
So go
talk
on and jump into
about
that. So let's
Yeah.
pivot to cooldown manager. Scrap. You've actually had a chance to play with it. You had a personal demo of how it works. So you had a leg up on the entire community. How did it
No,
go?
she didn't.
So when you went through it on the podcast last week, I was like, wow, this looks so easy to use. And like, I get it. And the marching ants and then this and that. And then I opened the thing and I was like, what the fuck? How do I do this? It was
didn't
hard
take
to
notes.
find. It was hard to find where to even access it. It's like you have to go through like 4
Mhm.
menus to get to it, which is a
Yep.
problem, and they should do something about that. And every time I wanted to test it and then change it, I had to go back through 4 windows again. That's my gripe number 1. 2, I didn't know how to use it, and I was messaging you and Lithian frantically to please help me with it. And I probably had 15 minutes of like sheer frustration ramping up by the time Lithian joined me. So when
Just-
he came in to assist me with it, I was just barking at him. Like I was just yelling at him that I couldn't figure it out.
So how does what do the developers need to do to stop you barking at Lithian?
Um,
I don't
Okay,
think they
so-
can fix that.
I think that's a personal problem. Scrap.
my main
Yeah.
issue is that the thing that I was looking for was like completely hidden and I couldn't find it. So I don't
If I
know.
recall correctly,
where
you were
it
looking to
was.
make the audio alerts, and you didn't know you had to right click it to set it up.
No, I just want to know
No,
where
it
that
was-
was. I didn't need
It
that.
was the
I just
track.
wanted to
She
see it.
had the tracked buffs bar hidden underneath
Oh
something
Really
yes,
else.
hidden.
yes, that is actually a problem that I had
Well, I
the same
couldn't
problem.
find it.
It was it's hidden
Okay.
underneath your
Yeah.
action bar 1. You don't know if it's there unless you have like the action bar open.
So that was my problem, is that I couldn't find anywhere to toggle that specific bar on or off because it was lost. And so I
Yeah.
couldn't find it. And that was the biggest frustration because I kept putting things on it and then I would see it nowhere. And there was nothing to help me
Yeah,
except
I get
Lithian,
it.
who couldn't help me because
get it.
I was unhelpable. I was raging.
I was at Chick-fil-A with my
like,
kids, and I see frantic messages to me going, "Where are you?"
We
Oh
throw
my
around the
gosh,
term
dude.
crashing out fairly often, but I was literally losing my mind. Lithian was like just trying to help me, and I was just yelling at him, like, why isn't this working? Anyway, so I finally got it to work the way I wanted to. It works great. It does exactly what I want it to do. Puts the thing, I make it big. My main issue was that I have buffs I want to track. Survival Hunter, you got like nothing to track. You got like one thing you need to glance at, and not really anymore, honestly. This is kind of more rhythm gaming.
We'll get your
but-
class guide in a second.
On something more like an enhancement shaman or maybe an arcane mage, maybe not, you might want to track more than one thing. And the way I had it set up on my survival hunter with weak auras is I had like the buffs I wanted in places on my screen, different places. So like
Yeah, like
near
left,
the
right,
buttons I was
middle, yeah.
pressing. Yeah, or like places that I was used to looking for those things.
That is a
and
common
it was like, you know,
common
not all in the
feedback is
front.
that the cooldown manager doesn't have the flexibility to
Why?
let you piece the puzzle
Why?
separately.
The only thing you could do is I could have my 2
Yeah.
buffs or whatever that I was like, I might want to track both of these, and you could give them about this much in between them. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't want that.
She pushed the padding all the way out.
And it was like, I don't know if you can see this on it. It was like this. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I was already in crash out state, so I was losing it a little bit. And I just decided, you know what? I just won't track a second buff. Like, I don't
No,
think I
but-
need it. I might need
but
it for
the-
raid.
Fuck
but I
it,
don't
we'll
need
do it
for
live.
Myth Plus. Yeah. Yep.
Why don't you quickly recap the floodgate key where you
Oh, okay.
disappeared?
Huge bug alert.
Which, by the
Huge
way, I
bug
think
alert.
it's fair to say a lot of people know about this bug. It's been in the game forever.
Huge bug alert that I feel like Frank and I have some
She didn't
beef with
know.
you. I feel like you were gaslighting me a little bit, being like, or like, sorry, victim blaming me. That's the word I'm looking for.
Fair enough.
Being
okay.
like,
Oh,
you
victim
should.
blaming.
Yes, you were, because you were like, you should
I said
know
fair
that.
enough.
That has. Okay, well, I'm just explaining to the people why I felt victim blamed is because this horrible thing happens to me, which I'll describe in a second. And Frank says that bug has been in the game forever. Why didn't you know that? And like it's my fault that the game doesn't work very well. And I
Well,
was like,
the
and all
reason
you
why I
guys
said that
intended
though,
it that way,
the reason why I said that though is because you've been on the tournament realm with us multiple times,
right?
and you've heard me say it multiple times, where I
I don't
say,
listen to all. of
Well,
it.
Describe the
Well,
bug.
Yeah.
You didn't describe the
here's
bug at
here's
all.
the bug is that I spent about an hour fussing over my UI because I literally was like moving things, tightening things up, like resetting all my keybinds. You know, I have to relearn survival. It was reworked again, reworked. I want to be very clear on that.
Is rework
Frank
the
and I are
right
always
word?
fighting about it.
Has
Yes,
anyone
that's the right
ever
word.
reworked survival? That's crazy.
A lot of
That's
times they
wild.
do. So I had to read a guide, you know, move things around, change keybinds, get rid of a lot of buttons. Took a lot of buttons out, you know.
How
And so
much
I've been
time did you
doing this
spend?
probably about an hour. You know,
Why are you
maybe
drawing this
30
out,
minutes of
Lithium?
it. Well, it's a good.
It's
Let me tell the story
entertaining.
that people are listening, right? So I spent about an hour on this, half of which was during an extended crash out period. So very taxing on my soul and my body. And we go into a floodgate and I'm feeling very good. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna try all this stuff out, these new things and whatever. And like in 5 minutes, I get kicked from the game. And apparently, if you get kicked from the game after you mess with your UI and keybinds and macros without logging out beforehand, it will just get rid of everything you did. I had macros unmade. I had keybinds reverted. I had all my UI that I'd been spending an hour on just gone. And then Frank comes in here being like, why didn't you know that would literally
Tell us in the
happen?"
comments below if you know that's a problem that you've ever experienced before, or if this is the first time you've ever heard it.
Well,
I
then I
want
had to
people
finish
to yell at me
Floodgate.
that I'm victim blaming you.
Well, then I had to finish Floodgate without like Harpoon even on my bar because I couldn't figure out where it was. Like and like
Oh
with
my
all my
gosh.
with literally like clicking all my buttons because they were keybound to completely arbitrary
In-
non-existent thing. Like it was horrible.
In fairness,
Can
though,
I,
the keys are insanely easy right now. You could have just
They
like
are. We
one buttoned it and we would have been fine. Sorry, I asked you. I
we
cut you off.
didn't time it though,
no, you're
actually.
good. I was gonna say a funny story that made me think of that also happened to us in a pre-patch key was when I was using Nef UI, and I don't know if this ever got figured out, but I had to throw the barrels on Dawnbreaker,
Oh,
and I
yes.
couldn't because the extra action button didn't pop up, so I'm just sitting
Yep.
there
Well,
with the
Lithian,
barrel.
Oh yeah.
Lithian had that too. We were fucking around in the neighborhood. I was trying to show him the Endeavor stuff, and he was trying to figure something out. I was like, jump on the caravan, like while you're figuring it out. You know, the little like wagon that goes through. And he got on. He was like,
Mhm.
I don't have a get off button. Like he
There's
didn't
no
have a
exit
dismount
button.
He was
Yeah,
was
no
kidnapped.
exit
Is
There's
what
button.
you're
no
saying.
vehicle. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the vehicle buttons were gone, and
Yeah.
there
Forgot
was. That's why I got rid of Nef, man, because it was causing some weird
forgot
issues.
to copy that part of the code, I guess.
Right. Well, I was just like, bye,
Yeah.
Lithian. He was like,
Yeah, I was just
wagoned
stuck.
away.
I logged out and logged back in.
Well,
But
Yep.
you know, at some point, like the key, you mentioned the keys being super easy.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
At some point, we need to talk a little bit about like skill. You know, skill
What about skill?
expression. Well, like
We're
they
moving on
made
to
the
that. Or
classes
talking about UI?
easier. I know we're going to talk about UI, but I mean, this is kind of part related to the UI
Yeah,
stuff, right? Because they simplified the classes, but in doing so, they had to add all this UI stuff to compensate because we had, you know, weak auras playing the game for us in the past, and now they're like, hey, let's go ahead and simplify the classes, get rid of weak auras, and not allow anything computational so that the game doesn't get played by add-ons. But I've been playing Brewmaster, and it feels like it's too simple. It's too
We-
easy.
I think we all have that feedback, right? Does anybody feel?
I know it's hard because one of the things I enjoyed about Brewmaster was that it was one of the harder tanks to play, right? And like Blood DK is a harder tank to play to me, I think, but like Brewmaster is a harder tank to keep up with. And now, like I'm pretty sturdy all the time, and I don't feel like we did. How high did we
did
win
19
keys?
yesterday.
We got to a 19, but the balancing and pre-patch is always off. It's not like
Yeah, I know.
because we
No, but
suddenly
I'm
got
healing.
better.
I'm
it's 'cause of
healing the groups,
tuning.
and I don't think I've ever had to like even spot heal Lithian.
Right. We'll
No,
keep
it's
pushing
like
it up to see
it-
if it gets
it's-
harder. But
I mean, it gets a little bit harder, but
from a
It's
DPS
just-
perspective, oh, go on. Are you finished?
no, I'm just saying that
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned, and I know I don't have the Apex talents, but
Yeah.
I've been playing beta. I know what happens, and it's like even in beta, I feel like where's the skill expression? Like, how do I express how good I am at the game if
Yeah.
the game is oversimplified? And now is everybody just going to be on the same level, right? And
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to set up Frank to give his opinion on this because something I had mentioned being afraid of is that like with less focus on mastery because it's like it's not difficult so you can master it quickly and easily, that there's going to be more of pressure on tuning to be similar. Like if everything plays easy and I don't have to work at it, like what we always encourage is like learn your class, learn it really well. But it's like I picked up the new Survival Hunter in like 15 minutes, like, and I feel like I was playing it pretty close to the guide without hardly anything helping me. It's very simple. It's fun, but it's simple. And then what I saw when we did the streets, Frank, you're on your mage, I was on my hunter, and like you said it was very easy to play arcane, but at the same time I was still like considerably ahead of you in DPS, but like you could be playing your best and I could be playing my best. And that's got to be,
Is
but
that
I'm
a
just saying
dig? Is that like
no,
a
no, no.
undercover
No,
dig
I'm
on
trying to
Frank?
say it because if I was in your position, I would be very frustrated because I'm like, I feel like I'm playing the best I can. There's nowhere for me to go from here. I'm just playing a worse class. That's like, that is what I don't want to feel like.
Yeah, that's tough. I get what
Did
you're
you get
saying. I
that
just
feeling, Frank, when you
Well,
were losing to me so bad?
I'm on an island of one,
Right.
and so I'm okay. So first and foremost, I'm reserving all judgment until launch, right?
I
know.
reserve judgment.
Like the game's not
might not be on
tuned,
that.
right? We
Yeah.
clearly see that. They even tuned Unholy Death Knight this week, because of how out of control it was, and it's still out of control.
Mm.
But it, like that doesn't bother me. I don't like. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. It like.
I'm not saying that the tuning now.
Well, you
is
brought
to
up
be
my
worried
damage
about,
meter
but that
quite a bit, so
tuning-
I'll.
Well, hold on, but I'm just saying it's a
Called you
possibility
out.
that it's a possibility that tuning in the future will favor
Sure.
a class that one of us is playing and not the other one. And we're both playing the best we can because it's very
Oh,
simple.
I was
to
not playing the
master.
best I
How
was
it's
can.
always worked.
I was
though.
not playing the best I
Oh,
can.
but you said it was
No.
easy,
So
Frank.
okay. So the other half of it is, remember, I'm vibe building, right? So I
Yeah,
don't know
why
what
you
my
would do
rotation
that.
is.
Okay.
I don't know what my rotation
true.
is. I'm trying to figure it out. I could have the wrong. Okay, so one thing I like about Arcane is that the change at the whatever the final nodes, I can't remember what are they called?
Capstone.
Capstones, thank you. The change at the capstone changed the gameplay pretty drastically, right? So I could be, and again, I'm not an expert on this, so as I'm explaining this, if people are sitting there going like, "That's not how that build works," I understand. I'm trying to
Maybe
figure
they can
it out,
help
right?
you.
No, I'm not allowed to accept help apparently. Anyways, so like
Oh.
from what I can tell, Arcane has like a build where you can just like kind of rapid fire arcane orbs and try to build up like arcane charges to barrage quickly, or you have to try to like build up what's called arcane salvo to 20, and then you launch and just kind of like arcane blast a lot. There's a couple other builds, but from what I can tell, those won't be good no matter what. So I just haven't haven't paid any attention to them. But anyways, point is, I'm trying to figure that out. So yesterday, because it was the first key I did on Frankenberry, and it was like we did an 18, right? Was that an 18 streets we
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
So I understood what the rotation should be, but I was making mistakes in it somewhat frequently. I also died on a big pull because I think
I'm not asking you to explain your.
no, what I'm just saying
why
is like
was
it
so
doesn't
bad.
frustrate me, it doesn't worry me on any of that stuff because like I'm on a different journey, right? Like you're saying I'm playing to the best of my ability. I know what the rotation is already. I like that's not a concern of mine. My concern
Here,
is
right.
it's not nearly as fun as Arcane used to be. Right?
Mm.
Well, I can get into that about survival as well, like a review. I'm mostly speaking, I guess, from personal experience. Like if I feel like I'm doing the best I can with the spec and I've really mastered it, but I feel like I don't think I've mastered it yet, but I think I will master it quickly because it's very low on complexity.
Sure.
That I feel like there's gonna be a point where I don't think I can do much to be better, right? And if I'm still getting lapped in DPS and I can't master it more, then I'm gonna feel bad about tuning.
Scrap, you played survival for what with us for the past 2 expansions, right?
Right, yeah.
Do you believe going into season
And
3
Shadowlands.
of the War Within, so 6 months ago, whatever? Do you believe there was still room for you to improve your gameplay with survival?
Yeah, I think in War Within the first 2 seasons, the first 1 season.
Well, you had a
like,
rework then, so that's
there
okay.
was. Yeah, but there was stuff to master. There was difficult juggle. I think even in Dragonflight, it was even a little bit better, more complex, though, because there's a lot of button bloat. You know, so I haven't felt like I've hit the peak of mastery before ever,
Okay,
but
that's
it
interesting.
seems like these classes are very yeah, no, I feel like I'm always playing at like 85%, you know, like unless I'm like really focusing, I can kind of push up to 90%, like the way a sim could play my character.
Okay.
You know, I'm doing the best I can, but I'm messing up like one button every, 30 seconds, maybe one
This
minute.
is this
like
now you're talking about, or is this last season?
no, in general,
Okay.
just like my skill level. My skill level, I'm not playing like a computer. I lose focus. I need to kick something. I get out of, melee range or whatever. Like there's always stuff that I can improve. My fear is that with simplification of the classes, that everybody will be able to reach the same skill cap. And it's like, if you want to put more work in, there's nowhere to put work into because it's easy. It's simple.
Here's the way I look at it.
That's something I fear.
Here's the way I look at it,
Mhm.
right? I actually wrote this down as a question. Like, are we, the question I wrote down, this was for a long time ago, but I held on to it because I thought it was an important thing to ask, was we keep talking about balance in the game, but then there's things like Arcane that came out that was a meta, and it was, obviously in the peak of content, in the peak of players, the best spec to go for. But we were always so worried about like, well, the game's imbalanced. The truth is like the game was also balanced around skill ceilings, and people just couldn't
Yeah.
comprehend the idea that there was like a more complex and challenging rotation to Arcane. And so they would, meta it or, fodom it and then, screw up. Anyways, point is this. I imagine the old Arcane kind of like being, I'll use Dance Dance Revolution as my example, right? There's the entry level specs like Beastmaster, for example, where it's just kind of like a left, right, left, right,
Yeah.
and just kind of a very easy systematic, but you're still dancing, you're still having fun. Whereas like Arcane at its peak, it had to have like add-ons, arguably, that you had to be like left, right, left, right, and just jumping up and down, like losing your mind. But once you got
and
it,
I think that was something everybody knew.
yeah, once you got it though, it felt so fluid. And that's why I told you I didn't have the need the Arcane barrage anymore. I'm not saying I was perfect on my Arcane barrages. So yes, you could argue there's like a little wiggle room for mastery. But
Yeah.
I was like, I'd known the spec inside and out, that I knew what the barrage was going to tell me, usually before it told me, right? And so
I like that feeling of
Yeah, I
feeling
agree.
like
I agree.
I'm really dancing. I don't want to feel like if I'm doing left right, I'm like, well, I'm dancing, but like anybody could do this.
You guys saw it firsthand that when we were in like Arakara season 1, for example, and Lithian was tanking for us,
Mhm.
he would say like, I'm gonna lose aggro to Frank here, I know it, on like that big pull right before
Yeah.
the second boss. Because I would just like go into, the meme that we have of Frankenberry where it just like I go Super Saiyan. And I would just
Yeah.
fucking blast because I just had learned, and it took years of practice. So I'm not saying it wasn't like something I just naturally got, but I just like had followed like my path and I just became an expert at it.
That's what I'm worried of,
Yeah.
is that maybe they're overcorrecting with simplicity, and that mastery will be like there will be less stuff to master.
I'm of the
and I don't think
belief-
it's necessarily there
Well-
now. Like I think at least with survival, it seems pretty fun. There's definitely stuff that you could always do better with like positioning and stuff like that. I'm happy. I'm actually really happy with what survival looks like going into midnight, because it was honestly really bad in War Within. So it's
Yeah,
not hard to go up from there.
I-
But yeah.
I would say, like, if I was to bucket the players, I would say, casual players are going to keep doing casual things, right? And I think that they're going to be okay. I think the high end players are going to do like what we do, where we play in coordinated groups, we're on voice. And I think the skill expression shows up when you're in that coordinated group and you're doing things as a
True.
group. And I think the high end players are going to keep doing that, and they're going to keep being really good. I think the middle tier player has been in the past very reliant on weak auras to tell them what to do, and I think that's going to impact. I think it'll impact that population, but they streamlined a lot of the classes to compensate for that, but I still think that there's still going to be those people out there that struggle a little bit because they don't have something telling, like they don't have high leaky, whatever it's called, telling them what to do, and that's why technique's never going to come back, because he doesn't have
Right.
that add-on.
There's your weekly techniques.
Yeah.
Smash.
but but you know, I think it's true. I think that's
Can
that's how I bucket the
I ask you,
populations.
can I jump in and just piggyback 1 second on that before I give you the floor?
Sure. Just don't
I,
forget to give me the floor
no, I
because
know.
sometimes you
No,
do that.
I know, I know. No, well, the only thing I want to add to that thing is that, like, I agree that the whole idea that weak or is this, weak or is that for the classes, but as I discovered, and again, this was like the crutch of leaning on these things too much, the cooldown manager going into this change was actually in a good enough space that maybe
Mhm.
like they didn't need to do this. Again, I'd argue for Arcane being one of the most complex. Maybe it wasn't necessary. Sorry, I ask it. The floor is yours.
That's okay. So I have had a bit of a change of heart since playing recently. I originally thought things were going to be too easy, and now I'm actually kind of starting to vibe with it a bit. I think Ellesmere recently had a tweet about how there's zero nuance in Holy Paladin anymore. And while I get where he's coming from, and I get where, Frank's coming from when he talks about how fun it is when you kind of reach that next level, to me, what's nuance in something like Holy Paladin? It's keeping your consecration down. It's hitting your judgment over and over again to make sure you keep the extra consecration down. It's lining up your Blessing of Summer with your wings and your Holy Prism, and you're doing like 3 million damage.
I'm
But at
not
the end of
listening
the
so I
day,
don't get
people are
cheats on how to build my talent tree. By the way.
this is all stuff you can't. This is all stuff you
Okay.
can't do anymore. So
Okay.
you're fine.
I heard Blessing of Summer. And
I'm
I thought,
talking
that was
about
it.
like,
Okay.
yeah. But basically, like, this is stuff you do, and you do like 3 million damage on a big pole in the beginning of the dungeon. And yeah, I mean, there's nuance to that, but also people are still getting to high keys with Holy Paladin before doing that, without doing that, and doing 600 or 6 million or overall or whatever. I'm sorry, 600,000 overall in season 3. I'm going based on those damages. So the nuance is there, but it's also not necessary. And I think when you kind of start to play with these a bit more, you start to realize how much more fun it is when everything you're doing kind of revolves around things you're using constantly, instead of having to try to set up for like these big combo moments or these like things where everything lines up and you're like, all right, this is it, time to blow up. Like, it's I there will still be that for some things, and I know specifically for Holy Paladin and Frost Mage, I've been having a lot of fun with them. So I think maybe those could just be two classes where less is more. But I think the more I play with it, the more I vibe with it, I've actually started to kind of enjoy the less is more philosophy.
I was gonna say, on the inverse of my Arcane experience, Shaman and Holy Paladin. Holy Paladin, I feel like I liked both, so I'm not really gonna say like, oh, they did a better job or a worse job. Like, I'm really vibing with the Holy Paladin playstyle that I have right now, right?
Mhm.
And it's not, again, I'm building it on my own. I'm not trying to follow what Ellesmere is telling me. I love Avenging Crusader. It's working for me right now. Now, granted, we'll see me getting my ass kicked maybe in midnight, but like, we've done 18 and 19 keys and we're getting there. And it's like, I'm not sweating. Haywire is taking some bullets, but sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
when he's not moving into melee like he
Poor
should, he's
Haywire.
gonna get all those lynx cats eating his butthole. But
More victim blaming. Insane.
hey, look, I said I'll be positive. I didn't say I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Hey, you're
That
as
guy
Taylor
died
Swift
like
once
10
said,
times.
I'm the problem. It's me, right? Anyways,
He died 10 times in the key, and the healer's
he didn't die
blaming
10
him.
times. Anyways, yeah, you didn't interrupt shit. But Shaman on the other hand, right?
Enhance needed it.
Yeah,
Enhance needed pruning.
well, it needed it, but again, it needed
Stupid.
it on the back end of things, right? Like this, like computational, and I say computational in the same way with like addons, but like, if you build up these qualifiers, then things will blow up. Like that's just not a fun gameplay loop, in my opinion.
No,
Where-
and it was like, we can joke about required weak auras, this and that, but like you were required to have weak auras play enhancement last season.
Yeah.
Like, you could not effectively play
I don't know.
without
I don't know enough about it to say like, could we pull it off with the CDM? Because I don't think so. But anyways,
I don't
point
think
is,
that mechanic is in it anymore. I just kind of glanced
no, but the
at
point
it.
is like the reduction on that for enhancement doesn't necessarily need to be a pruning. It just needs to be like flow those things back into the talent tree differently, and everything could have still worked. But like Shaman feels fun when, at least when I'm playing Tempest. Although I saw a tweet saying that Tempest is not meta. I was like, oh fuck, but I'm still gonna play it.
What? No, Tempest is the best.
I know, because it feels great when you like smash that lightning
feels
down,
good.
right?
You
And
get
so
that
again, like
Tempest.
it's been simplified, but I'm vibing with it, and hopefully I'll keep up on the meters. But like on the other side of that coin, there are been some specs where I'm like, this is fine, everything's fine. It's just, again, I believe that there should be a couple specs that the mastery ceiling is significantly higher, and you're rewarded for such because you built that muscle to play at a different level than anyone else.
Yeah.
That's always
And
what I want, right?
to kind of also jump on to what one of the things Scrap was concerned about. I do think that you do run the risk of when everything is simpler. If there's going to always be certain classes that just simpler are going to be able to do more damage than other ones, which could maybe cause some balancing or meta issues. So I think that is something to also kind of look in or kind of keep an eye on too. Because like for example, if Unholy Decay is a simple spec, everyone can pick it up and it's always able to do a ton of damage. Why would you take something like Survival Hunter over it? And especially the Survival Hunter can only hit a ceiling because it only has like 3 or 4 buttons and it's never going to be able to do more damage.
That's the perfect summary of my fear. But I think that in my dream of how they would design the specs, I know it's not possible entirely. Like they're just going to do their best, right? Is that every class would be simple to play, difficult to master.
Yeah.
Like if all of them could be that way, would be my dream.
I mean, the question is the simplified class design a win because more people can play, more people can compete, or is it a loss because mastery starts to feel pointless? Right?
Hold on. Sorry, go on.
I feel like it could be simple to play, but still difficult to master.
Let's take a step back, though.
Good.
And it's just a question.
Yeah, but let's take a step back here for a second. Right? It's like we say simple to play. Is there any spec out there that if you were to press all the buttons wrong and you're in the mindset, I just want a simple gameplay loop. I'm doing my delves, I'm doing my whatever, that you wouldn't be able to play the game, right? Like, I mean, isn't that like Arcane could have survived in its, high mastery state because people were still able to do their delves or do, +3 dungeons, and who the fuck cares? It's all fine kind of shit,
Especially with introduction of one button and highlight assist. Like those were great accessibility features added to the game.
I'm talking about those middle tier folks that are playing the game, right? I think like when Scrap was playing that new Demon Hunter, Devourer. All she did was say consume or whatever over and over again. It was really annoying, but that's all she did was press that one button, I guess. But she played very terribly.
Listen, be kind, Lithian, because it's a fresh remix character at 100 item level. And the one button assist, which isn't even good, and not even half the buttons on my bar. So I don't even know what my cooldowns are. So of course you're gonna play it perfectly. But I was just like, yeah, I'll fill it out. Like, just see let's see. I've never read about it. I literally just opened the game, threw some talents, literally starter build, and then threw some talents on the hero talents. That's the ultimate vibe build. Didn't even read them. Just
can I give a shout out to Blizz real quick though? For the fact that they changed the Devour problem where like if you started casting it's not meta, like the collapsing star or whatever. They finally changed it after like all beta cycle Devour saying please. I mean, so shout out them.
They don't lose those.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I don't even know if that's a good change because I don't know enough about it. But you can't be unkind to me, Lithian, because I was playing
it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal.
Yeah. You know how sometimes when you start like a channeled ability and it gets canceled, it like goes back on like a reduced cooldown or it just goes
or you don't use the
cooldown.
Resources.
Yeah.
Is it even a channeled? I thought you were just like casting it and then it goes.
No. You would use the resources, you start to cast it, and then if you moved or got like knocked in like that little delay, it would just go completely, you would lose everything. You wouldn't
and it's your biggest cooldown by a mile.
Yeah, that's the thing you're building up to spend. Yeah, it's your big spender. So
it's tough.
Yeah, it was a huge deal. And again, good on them for fixing it. They should have done it in beta earlier, but whatever, I don't know.
To finish what Lithian was complaining about, I have a good authority that you do press consume most of the time you're playing that spec.
You
I was under the impression you need your Apex talents to really make things more fun. So
So I wasn't
Yeah.
even wrong to press consume over and over again. Maybe you didn't
No,
like
you
me
were
saying it
wrong.
every time I
Yes,
pressed
you were
it.
wrong saying it every time you pressed it. That was the wrong part. It was worse than Haywire's Pets.
No, I was just
I-
gonna say, I was literally just about to say it was not worse than Haywire's Pets making that horrible noise. the whole
I do
time.
want to shout out though, even though things are getting simpler and there are less buttons for some specs, don't discount the kind of skill that can come out of stuff like this.
Yeah.
League of Legends, which is a game that most characters mostly only
Ability.
have 4-ish abilities. I
That's
mean, some of
true.
those people who master those champions can use those abilities in a way that people who don't play them that often might not even think of, and I think that's some kind of skill you
They-
might start
they
to see
understand their
people
tool
I
develop.
set.
literally, yeah. I literally
Yeah, I
brought up
mean-
League of Legends when we talked about button bloat and like Dragonflight. I was like, they can make a complex game with 4 buttons. Why do I have 7 buttons and 3 of them feel bad to press? Like, just give me 4
Yeah,
that feel
Okay,
good to
Asmongold.
press.
Okay.
I think
What the
I
fuck ever, I
think
don't even
there
know
is
the name.
mastery. I mean, there's mastery and there's a gameplay loop with every class. Like, there's still kind of a gameplay loop with Brewmaster, but with Vital Flame and all that. But
Well,
I don't know. It just feels
the same thing happened in
It
Dragonflight
feels-
when they introduced the talent trees. There were a couple specs that fell by the wayside that were like, ugh, right?
Dude, Fury was literally 2 buttons in Dragonflight Season 1, which I thought was
You loved it.
hilarious. Like, I did. I loved it. It was so funny. It was like not even a joke. Literally 2 buttons. You would hit Bloodthirst when you started, and then
Literally.
you just hit Rampaging,
Literally.
Blow, and then Rampage. Just that's
That sounds
all
like
you
3
press. It
buttons.
was hysterical. Well, no, it was just like put your dot out, basically, like get your Fury up. So okay, like I would press it. But let's say the encounter is
Oh, now
3
it's 4
minutes
buttons.
long. Shut. It's 2. Like the encounter is 3 minutes long. You press 2 buttons for 3 fucking minutes. It was insane. It was hilarious. They did fix it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I
my
don't
point
know
being
any
is that
specs are
like there are going to
that.
be some, maybe the Arcane dev goes back and says, you know what, maybe I'm not really loving this and I want to make it a little more complex. I personally am of the camp that they did a little pruning so that they could add things back and have like this excitement factor, right?
Yeah.
Of like,
The
oh
cope.
yeah, they're giving me, and like, sometimes they just have to prune a lot of things anyways. But outside of that, all right, can we keep, so first off, Scrap, you wanted to give us
Can
a
I talk
final
about
grade
a
on,
winner?
yeah, okay, what's the winner?
Yeah. Final. What am I giving a grade on?
Well, survival, like you wanted to give us your quick,
Yeah, okay, that's perfect. It's a perfect segue what I was just about to talk about without any introduction. Is that I want to say I did try out the new survival. I wanted to give it a good try so I could speak authoritatively about it right now. To the 2 survival hunters, I see you. I love you. Thank you for following. Here's
Horse
my
Banana.
opinion. It's Horse Banana, and then our commenter who frequents, whose name I can't remember, but I love you too, and I love your comments. So it's
you'll get
way
the
better
Christmas
than War
card,
Within,
but
I
it
would
will
say.
have no name on it.
It no, I'll find your name. I'll recognize it when I see it in the comments. I just can't remember off the top of my head because I have really bad memory. But it's much better than it is in War Within Season 3. It feels really good. It has a nice rhythm to it with getting 2 stacks of tip on kill command. I will say the simplicity that I don't like is that like there's no like tip discretion. Like you want to tip everything. It's kind of like just always have it on stuff. So that's kind of lame, but it wasn't really being used well in War Within anyway. All your cooldowns feel really exciting and fun to press. They give a good feedback loop on the opener. Especially I'm doing the Flame Fang pitch build, and so that interacts with your bombs, which interacts with your boomstick, and the opener is just like really fun and flashy and good, and you have a lot to press. I don't love the lull in between when you have stuff up. Survival hasn't had a lull like that in a really long time, since like before Dragonflight, where like when I don't have anything up, I'm just kind of cycling between kill command and mongoose bite. I'm speeding through this kind of, I see you guys' vacant expressions on your faces, but this is an important review.
No,
I
I
do have
think
a
it's, I think it's
question.
good.
Yeah, go
It's
for
good.
it.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer
where's the guide
the
screen?
stick or do you prefer the tip?
Don't.
The stick or the tip, there are 2 completely different things, my guy.
Oh,
the
okay.
tip is a buff, the stick is a cooldown. So
When can we expect to see your
Oh,
class
yeah,
but I
guide
acknowledge your joke.
on the website, Scrap?
I'm giving it right now. I'm just one of you guys is writing this down, right? Like I
I can't
want
see
to write a
Scrap writing
I
anything.
don't want to write a guide because I'm basing this off of a guide I read, right? And how I
You're not a
feel
theory
like it feels.
crafter.
And so I don't want to take their work and like posit it as my own. You know what I mean? Like I would just
Yeah,
be
I
like
mean, you can
repraising
cite
it.
them.
That's what I'm doing now.
You can
Okay, so
cite
here's
them.
the negative.
It's fine.
Here's this. okay, this last thing. I'm going to give my negative, what I don't like about the class design. And this has been in survival since Dragonflight, maybe mid Dragonflight. No difference between AoE rotation and single target rotation. Same with raid spec, which is really different, and Mythic Plus spec is really different. There is no change in priority. There's no change in gameplay. You use the same rotation for single target and AoE. I do not like that design for class. It sucks.
Can I tell you what I hate about Survival Hunter?
What?
Whatever that little fire patch is that you throw down.
Flame Fang
and
pitch? Well, it might not be meta, so you might be lucky, but I just wanted to try it because it's a new button and I like having a new button. And
my God,
I like
dude.
the feedback loop for Mythic Plus. I
I
haven't tried the
hate-
raid spec, so that's to be fair. But
I hate where you have to position mobs in a certain spot. Haywire
Yeah.
has Stampede too, right? And
right.
I'm trying to go to the next, like I'm always trying to go to the next pool, the next pool, the next pool, and everybody's like, "Stop! Don't move!"
Not everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Ha."
To be fair,
I know.
I'm not sure how the tuning works out, but I think that with Flame Fang pitch that circle, it's more about getting my CDR and like that opening burst than for them to sit in it.
You
Obviously,
guys
I
can
get more
talk about
damage
this
from
in
sitting in
couples
it, but
therapy this week, but it's not my concern.
Scrap.
it's gonna be a consistent thing though if I have to take this in Mythic Plus.
But I want you to know, you sound very much like a theory crafter with all that commentary.
No, I'm just
maybe
telling
you
you
should
how
write a
it
guide.
works.
Maybe you should
I'm
write
not
a
writing a
guide
guide.
about it.
I'm not writing a guide. I'm not even
The
telling
thing just
people
really
how
needs
to
the
play
content
it.
for the website, Scrap.
Like the survival hunters who are listening know, I'm not telling you how to play it. I'm telling you how I feel about how it's supposed to be played
That's very
based on a Wowhead
very
guide.
vibey.
Based on a Wowhead guide I read about how it's supposed to be played. And
Alright.
feeling it out, seeing how it comes together.
Well,
The openers feel awesome and so fun. It feels like Dragonflight Season 2 opener, where you have a lot of stuff, you just like, and this, and then a little bit of that, and then here's one of these. It's like very, you get a lot of stuff in order and it's fun, but I don't like the lull.
Everything I know about
The lull.
Brewmaster's in that Brewmaster guide. I keep
There you go.
updating it. But
Okay,
Well,
that's
okay.
my survival.
So we feel for the most part good about our classes. Again, I have my
I could
concern.
play this
but,
all season. I could play this all season and be happy if it was just
Okay.
like this. It's fine. It's totally
well,
Yeah, but you're supposed
let's
to
get
play
back to the UI
Devourer.
side of it.
Fuck.
Okay. So we talk.
UI.
We're gonna talk about some big drama that's been happening behind the
Yes.
scenes. But before we get into that, I just want to ask you guys. So like for example, the damage meter. There is a better damage meter on the beta that hasn't been released with 12.0. I guess because it wasn't ready in time. But there will be improvements like the death trackers. That's not in there yet. I actually am upset about the fact that on the damage meter it will show their server as well as their name, which drives me crazy because it takes up so much space. So a little thing, but like that's don't do that. But what other things in the UI are like a pain point for you guys that we need to? Okay, so for example, I don't, and this is I think maybe just a war within problem because they didn't build it for like backwards compatible. But like the boss alerts and stuff are pretty vacant on the dungeons we're doing right now, to the point where I'm not seeing any alerts about even mini bosses like doing their big mechanic, and so it's just dead quiet, and then all of a sudden Haywire's dying, you know. Do you guys I mean like we talked about not kicking. Do you guys feel like there's a huge problem still there?
My biggest issue with the kicking and why I'm struggling with it, although I think if we had logs of those, you would see that I picked up the pace with the kicks once I figured out what I was doing with my spec and I was killing it. Is that the bars are still really hard to read, and there's not a lot of customizations to be done to make kicks easier to see. And also I'm still struggling to tell what I'm targeting. Like I know that there's like a white bar around it, but I wish there was a way to make it glow, give it marching ants maybe. Like if I could put some ants on that bitch, it would be a lot easier for me to tell who I'm targeting.
Oh my gosh, not the
So
ants.
I feel like in large part I'm not used to the base UI bars, but I feel like I'm not getting the information as effectively as I need to keep up with the kicks in these dungeons. Now, if the kicks are less impactful, less required, I definitely think
you
they
still
must
have
be
to kick.
because I have such a lack of stuns now because they ripped so much hunter utility out from under us, that like I'm like I hope that you don't have to, you know, do CC rotation like you do now. But that's the only thing in the base UI that I feel really frustrated. And my minor gripes with customization of UI, of course. And
I'll
on the
tell
damage
ya.
meter, I don't like you can't have DPS and damage at the same time. Why?
Yeah, that's fixed. That's
Switching-
fixed on the beta. So
Okay, good.
Switching to later and seeing the number of kicks that I'm missing, like changing the nameplates and the way they look and things kind of messed up my kick tracking and everything else. It really is something you have to get used to. Like
Your
that's what I'm
kick
trying to
suffered.
find. Oh, it was bad. Like it
Yeah.
because Plater looks a little different, and I was just missing all the kicks, and it was I don't like that at
No, I
all.
had like 3 times
So
as many kicks as you did, and we have the same cooldown.
okay, all right. Let's just
I'm just saying,
you
and
know
you're the tank, you're not really doing too much. I'm doing it all.
what
Like
what
I gotta keep up with my rotation.
I'd argue the
and
tank should
stuff.
have the highest kick rotation or
yeah,
highest kick.
I
Yeah,
agree. I
that's probably
100%
what they're
agree with
doing.
that. 100% agree, but when I switched to Plater, I pulled a profile in, it was just not it didn't work for me. So, I'm
Yeah.
still working that
It's
out.
still hey,
That needs
they have plenty of time to get things working on their end.
Oh, yeah. I'd just like to get used to
yeah.
something before midnight comes out.
I could totally do a whole season like this, especially if kicks are less important or less. I would say less
They're less
impactful.
important. Yeah.
Like then this
Yeah.
is it's fine.
What-
It's literally fine how it is.
What I can my gripe with the kicks part of it is that Blizzard did it right, for example, in Arakara, where the mob starts like having this big green glow around them. And they don't, for the most part, have that in the new dungeons. I'll give you an example. Magister's Terrace, right? There is a mob that fears. Okay, huge problem if the group gets feared, especially for the tank, because the tank no longer can defensive themselves. And so there is no real easy, clear, discernible way to know that the nuke is about to go off.
May I add a little context?
Sure.
It's not even like it's usually a mob you're fighting with a bigger mob that also has a kick. So if you didn't know to look out for it, you wouldn't even realize these little guys have a cast they're doing. Yeah. So it's especially it's pretty devastating for it to be on a mob like that.
Like me doing the Keystone Kindergartens and getting prepared for them, it's like such an eye-opening experience that I'm going to be versed in it. But that's not what anyone is going to do except for the best of the best, right? And I'm like doing it because I'm plowing through logs and like picking everything apart and then looking at my VODs to say, okay, what did this and what did that? It takes a ton of time. Now, granted, you will have videos out on YouTube that will give you this information later, but you're not going to remember it unless you really studied it. And so you go into the dungeon, and yes, the argument could be made that the whole idea of making the mistake means that you'll learn from the mistake and not let it happen again. Sure, right? Like you're not going to be in these make or break keys the first 3 weeks of the season. Most people won't be.
Right.
So like, is it really that big of a deal to let that fail happen? No, but at the same time as like we're doing these more complex keys and trying to merge pulls together, I'm already trying, like for example, as a healer, I'm already trying to keep up with everything. It'd be nice to know that I could call it to my group, hey, he's trying to fear us right now. Who's on it, right? And I just don't feel like they kept that promise they made about like when a spell is important, we'll make sure either like the emote from the boss is really, really loud and it's like, I will end you or whatever, right? Or that there's a visual
But
cue.
That's one of the retouch dungeons, right? Like
Magister's a
like
new
that
dungeon.
one already existed.
It's a new dungeon.
It's a new one.
Yeah.
Okay, so never
Yeah.
mind. Then fuck them. They're not.
Yeah, no,
I
like,
thought- I
okay.
thought it
I'll
was
give
in
you,
the old
and in
one, and I
fairness,
was like,
on the nameplates, they make it glow, and and it's not even that good of a glow. But Plater can pick up on that stuff, I think. So I don't think it'll be the end of the world.
Yeah.
And people are getting around stuff like that, anyways. Which again, we can talk about at length of like Blizzard completely neutering themselves on what they said was going to be not acceptable.
Right.
But like there's for example, in Windrunner Spire, new dungeon, there are mobs that like do the kind of poison coating of their weapon. Not really a huge deal, but it can be a big problem for the tank if it's not interrupted. But it's like there's nothing that lets you know they're doing it other than the cast bar, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm trying to think of another one quickly, but like there's plenty of mobs that have those important kicks, and there are not many of them throughout the dungeon, so that you as the group can decide, hey, you're on square, you're on this. So like it's going to lean heavily into this focus macro world, which I told you about Scrap the other day. Is like you need to be getting ready to use that because I think it's gonna be really important.
Yeah.
But it's not really a good solve for the average player, right? And I still
Right.
think Blizzard
Yep.
has work to do there.
I agree. Especially from a healer's perspective, and I know we are not going to need to worry too much
Yeah.
about
Well, we are
kicks
going to worry about it.
in terms of being, yeah, I mean, from that end, and then we can still like hodge it or whatever, unless you're a shaman. But what was I gonna say? Damn, I think I lost my thought.
Sorry.
But no, you're fine. Oh yeah, no. So, but I think you're right where there's. I wish there was something in the game that gave you an idea more so when something devastating was going to happen. I think there's a couple instances outside of just casts, like there's the Nexus point. There's those mobs that eventually have the batteries. There's just a lot of inconsequential AoE damage that just kind of comes out of nowhere there. And I feel like you don't really notice it until after it's already happening, and then you're kind of like, where is this coming from? It's not a trash pack specifically. I think I mentioned this last episode. They're very visually busy, and it's not always easy to tell what's going on. And the way I used to become better at that was I used to have weak auras with a lot of sound cues that wouldn't be like AoE incoming or defensive or bleeds, and that's how I would do it. But now not having that, that's going to have to be something I get better at. Right, but I can't assign them to
You can't put that on
every
a thing.
single
Yeah, that
specific enemy ability.
No, but you
The-
can
the audio
assign them
cues are
two
very
abilities so that
restricted.
whenever there's a cast, you hear the cast.
So yeah,
can do that on
that
enemy
I could do.
abilities?
That's
Yeah.
I guess that's a good point. I never realized
It might be
I
a
never
little
thought
like
about that.
cumbersome
So,
because you hear bolt, 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 nuke, like
yeah, I'll have to look into that. But yeah, but that's also I think where it's going to be a fun challenge to go through with not having this and now having to learn, and when you get to a point where you're like, okay, now we're on this pack, this is where all this AoE damage is going to happen. Okay, this is where okay, no one got the polymorph, I'll hodge it, hopefully they get it once the stun wears off, like stuff like that. So
we had a lot of polymorphs going off in my Sarah Kyvans. That's another example.
All you gotta do is pick up Quazii's UI. He has it all built in there.
Okay.
What a great segue, Lithium.
All right, so there's a lot of work to do. Again, I'm happy to hear that Blizzard is, saying, hey, the work's not done. I did want to quickly ask, because everyone's still losing their mind. They're like, this sucks, everything sucks, the game can't be played, which I don't agree with, but
I don't agree with either. Yeah.
What I want to ask this though is, okay, let's rewind time. Blizzard doesn't tell us about the add-on Apocalypse, which by the way is our words, not theirs, because we're being continuously unfair the fact that they didn't say they're killing add-ons, right? But if they had just said, okay, here's all this new UI stuff, right? And then at the end of it said, okay, guys, look, we feel like we're at a place where we can kill computational APIs, not even add-ons, just like computational APIs. Do you think I don't think it'd be good for the developers, obviously, because they the add-on developers would be like, oh shit, and they're like scrambling to fix it, which is not good for them. But what I'm saying is, do you think the community would have been way more receptive when they saw all these great changes that the company or the game developers implemented, and then said, look, we're not saying, you can't have X, Y, and Z, but we are saying you can't have A, B, and C. Do you think the community would have been more receptive to that?
I think the community would have revolted.
You think it'd been worse?
Yeah.
I just want to verify.
Worse.
So we have everything we do now, and then they'd say, we're taking away computational API. So what exactly is the end of this scenario? Are there still the same add-ons we had access to, or is it basically the same end, but it just kind of came out of nowhere?
Okay, here's part of the problem for me, right? And I know Weak Auras is obviously worthy of a lot of praise for the work that they've done over the past 20 years, right? But I genuinely feel like a lot of the things people liked about Weak Auras, for example, the quest tracking Weak Auras or the Pedro, it doesn't count because I don't think the API changes would allow Pedro to work because it doesn't want you to know you're
How about the circle cursor? That's what I
circle
miss the
cursor
most.
or
or
even like,
There's
for
an add-on
example,
for that,
the Weak Aura
Can
that
you
lets
link
you
me
like
that?
port to a dungeon
cool.
just by clicking on the dungeon in the the UI,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like little
Yeah.
stuff like that could still exist, but Weak Aura said no, enough's enough. And I'm not trying to like say that is like something we should be upset with them about. But
Just so you know, there's also an add-on for that too, the portals.
yeah, but like that's
Yeah,
my
So
point though.
there
Everyone
are still
keeps
ways
talking
to
about
do
how
that.
they have to download more add-ons, but the truth is like you still kind of had to like just because you put them through Wago and Weak Aura, which I think is less intuitive, and now you have to go through CurseForge to get them. Like everyone's saying that this is a huge problem. I don't understand like why is everyone saying this is a huge problem?
I think the way that I understand it is it's like human nature is that they take something away and give us something worse. It's like, well, I liked what I had. Why did you give me something worse? Like, and it's
Yeah.
like you could say like, oh, it's not
But they
worse
didn't.
because it still functions and
No, I
it's
agree
good
with
and
that.
it's
Yeah,
whatever. But it's like I had it the way I wanted it, and now I can't make it the way I want it
but they
arbitrarily. It
didn't
feels
take it
arbitrary
away
in some
though.
cases.
That's my point, right? They said you can't have certain
Yeah.
information,
Um,
right?
I mean, they
Yeah, they
took
gave
away
them a hostile
functionality.
environment.
They took away how easy it was to do too, because a lot of this stuff now is requiring people to code add-ons, and apparently that is as easy
did
as
Blizzard
copying
do
and
that?
pasting other people's code.
Whoa.
Here's a true test, IO. Scrap.
Yep.
How long?
What?
How long would have taken you to create a Weak Aura as opposed to adding those 2 buffs in the buff tracker?
It would have taken me way
For-
shorter because I already know how to use weak
Yeah,
auras,
but that's the thing. Go back to the
I don't
first
know,
time you used
That's
Weak
the
Aura.
point.
Right. It probably take me the same amount of time.
I
Yeah.
think
But my point is this though. You say they took it away. No, Blizzard did not take away those things.
Sorry, no, they took away access.
No,
you know,
no, they
and
didn't. Weak Aura did.
to the box.
No, Weak Aura. No,
Well,
Well,
no, they
like
took away
Scrap.
access to
You
the
setting up
box
your
and then
add-on
weak
to
auras-
track your cooldown, right? Now, granted, I don't know enough about the black box. Maybe this is actually a problem, right? But right now, the add-ons have access to be able to track those add-ons like you want, right? Or track your
Yeah, I
your
could
cooldowns.
probably find an add-on, a not weak aura, to be able to separate my little.
They exist. They
dudes if I
definitely
wanted to.
exist. They
Yeah,
definitely exist,
I'm
right?
gonna find them. It's
But
hard
what I'm
work,
saying
though.
is
I already
like
had
all
it.
this
I already
stuff that's
had it.
like
That's why I don't like it.
sure. And again, like you could argue because the LVUI is coming back, and for the most part, it's going to look the same. And it's just that they're taking away the tools that were in these add-ons. And again, I'm not here to advocate one way or another. I'm not trying to change everyone's mind. What I'm just saying though is like I don't think Blizzard was going to win this fight no matter what because
I think
they
you're
tried
right.
to.
They had to rip the Band-Aid off.
They weren't, and I think the only reason why it got as much backlash as it did was because in the original announcement video with Max and Dranos, they made it seem like this was going to be a longer term thing. And I think when people not only, got told, hey, this is actually happening now, people also didn't really have time to work with the new stuff and get something they liked. And it's kind of scary when you're like, I do this way for some of these people have had these UIs that they've been using for many years at high levels of gameplay.
Yeah.
And now they have to take that out, put these new tools in that they now have to learn, which to Blizzard's credit, they're not super tricky to learn, but you're not used to them. So it takes a bit to get them how you want them. And you set all this up and you didn't even have time to test it to see, okay, I think I have what I need to, okay, now you can take them away. I'm good now. They have to figure it out on the fly. And I think people are just scared and they're just emotional about losing it. So
I know the biggest thing for me that I found like a bit frustrating in how they rolled it out is that they rolled out the class changes and the add-on changes like at the same time, and it felt like I would have liked to see I would have liked to see like the class changes first maybe, and then I could be like, wow, I really don't need these weak auras because the classes are so much simpler, and that's like cool, you don't need them, and guess what, now you don't have them, and then I would feel less like
When you say see them
scared,
early
right?
though, you mean like see a season of it with it and then
A season, yeah, I think a
Okay.
season would
because
be
like
good.
my mind is on
yeah.
this set of like you've had access not to beta of course, but you've had access to the PTR, so you could see these things and like calm
But
yourself
the
down.
average
I know.
person,
Yeah,
and I
I'm
do
not
think they
saying
are targeting the average person. I feel like
Oh,
but the
what
average
they're doing
person
with
isn't
the night.
complaining.
Well, that's
No,
another
but
thing.
I think
Wow.
that they don't care. Like they're like, okay, these people complain, but right now we're trying to target midnight to somebody who's coming back after a long time, or maybe never
And
played again. I think with the housing stuff, and like saying, hey, classes are simpler, and we did this big band-aid rip that's going to make the game healthier in the long term, which I think it will. Like I think they're really targeting new and returning players with this change. So
And
Okay.
go on,
I'm glad you
Mm.
brought that up. I'm sorry. I'm glad you brought that up because I've actually noticed that, the people, yeah, you have some people that are like JB that are very outspoken about not being a fan of what they did. But I feel like a lot of the players that play the game regularly, the high-end players, the people on beta, they have already gotten to the point where they've made their UI and they're ready to move on. The people that are just getting this stuff now, I have some friends that are in a casual guild that are logging on. They're like, "Oh my god, this is awful. Everything I've used for years is gone. I can't use decursive. I can't use this. I can't use this." And those are the people I'm starting to see actually get hit actually pretty hard by it because they don't have the knowledge or the months of working on this stuff to understand how to fix it. And obviously, you could tell them, well, you use this add-on similar, you can use these, but it's just very even casual players. I was surprised by how much this actually impacted a lot of players that weren't just those top end players.
Well, I
I mean,
feel
it's
like
as
a lot of
simple
the
as I
casual
had
people.
this and now I don't.
Yeah, I feel like a lot
that's
of
Yeah.
it.
casual people may have not known the storm was coming, right?
Right.
So like just the
Or
initial shock of the
understood
storm.
the
But like decursive, right?
severity.
But decursive is not a huge deal because I think they already broke
Oh,
decursive's ability to
tell
just like
that to
decurse.
So
the
maybe to
person
you.
the person who's complaining
No, I
about
know. What I'm
it.
saying though is
Yeah.
like if you're in a guild with me, it's a casual guild, right? I'd argue we're a casual guild. Not
Yeah.
the four of us, but Anyways, what I'm saying though is like if someone got on and said, "Oh my god, decursive isn't working," it wouldn't take a lot to explain in game what you can do to solve this problem, right?
Yeah, right.
And so like I think that's healthy, as we said. Like the band-aid needs to come off. The quote that Ian gives in
Yeah.
this interview is like, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today," right? And people took like
Yep.
offense with
That's
that. They're
so
like,
beautiful.
"What?" People
Did he
took
write
offense
that?
with
That's
this.
so
Like JB was
beautiful.
like, "What the
That
fuck?"
has a
Like,
coaster has something.
Aw.
but like they're missing the point of what Blizzard's ultimately trying to do. They think that the Blizzard's like trying to ruin the game, and
No,
there
I've
is.
said. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say there's still obviously a lot of work to do, and again, he's acknowledging that in this
Yeah.
interview. But like at the same time, I don't know. I just get hung
Yeah,
up on this
So
idea.
they-
People are saying
they
like the
said
game
from the-
can't be played anymore. It's like
when
No,
you
no,
rip the
it's
band-aid
fair.
off, you scream because it hurts, and then after a while you're like, okay, that wasn't so bad,
Okay.
and then you move on.
Okay, that's a good
that'll
analogy.
And you
be what
have to
happens.
have
I can run with
Band-
that.
Well, that's what I think we can all agree, and we all did when we heard about this originally, was this will be healthier for the game, because weak auras were like breaking some of their encounters. Like we talk about Fractalis, it's like we didn't do it without anything, and we had a really good time. And it's like that's the kind of weak aura that I think they're trying to stop, ones that kind of make them have to have this arms race of like, how do we design encounters that are still challenging and engaging without like this, these guys that are going to figure out a way to make it like super brain
Yeah,
dead easy,
and
right?
the
Go ahead.
players are way too smart too because they did things like private auras and they found a workaround. They tried another thing,
Well,
they found a
That drama
workaround.
too.
It
Like
sounds like the workarounds
players-
are going
Yeah.
to exist in the coming season, anyways.
that's gonna
Well,
be interesting to see. Yeah,
Too much to think about, but I think we can all agree this is very good for the game. I think where
Yeah.
a lot of like, even I am kind of like, I want to complain about this a little bit. I mean, I love to complain, but like, it's just the rollout has been a bit rocky. Now, I will say, 2 months ago when we were first talking about this, I was big dooming. I was like, there is no fucking shot all of this stuff is to be good and working when they're pitching all this crap that they were planning on doing. Now that I've had my hands on it, played the way my new spec is being played, see how it works with my UI and stuff, I'm like, hey, I can play this. Like there's
Hey.
nothing, there's things I want that could be better, but it's far from unplayable. It is totally awesome and playable, which is much better than I expected because I'm a big doomer,
Well,
Yeah.
that's high praise coming from you, Scrap. So
I'm honest
Yeah.
as fuck. Like I'll give them praise when I feel like they deserve it, and I'll shit on them when they're
well,
annoying me.
Weak Auras has had a feast this week, and let's give you
Mhm.
a reason or the story behind why. Okay, I'm gonna lean on IO. You might know about this as much as I do, but like the long and short of it is, there has been some drama with the launch of the pre-patch and the add-ons that go with it.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure of the timeline exactly, but my understanding is that okay, so the players, we have Quazii, famous Quazii. He's a huge WoW YouTuber. Not for long, apparently. We have Neff.
Not anymore.
Spoiler.
We have Neff, okay? Neff, I believe, was a high-end raider. Dratnos, for example, says he used to raid with him. Made his own UI called Neff UI. We have what's their name? Danders.
Dander.
Oh, Lucky One.
Danders,
Oh,
right?
Danders,
Yeah.
Lucky One, One's the LVUI developer.
LVUI guy.
All right.
Yeah.
So, from what I understand of the story is, originally Neff UI had accused Quazii of stealing some code. Okay. Quazii, again, I didn't find any response to it, but Quazii was like, oops, okay, yeah, no, hold on, we'll fix it. And like, kind of just like, yeah, whatever, sorry, that I don't know how that happened, whatever. But then Neff was accused of stealing code from, what is this, Danders Frames?
Danders Frames, yep.
Yep, and Danders even went so far to add into his UI that you were supposed to say, hey, add-on conflict detected, Danders and Neff are loaded, which add-on would you like to use? And then if you clicked, sorry, I guess this is Neff UI that did this? No, okay, Neff UI is sold from. Anyways, if you chose the wrong answer, it'd be like, wrong, you chose the one that stole from us.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's petty.
Which
Yeah.
I guess resulted in, I thought I had the picture of it up. Resulted in, okay, I'm sorry, I thought I pulled up. Neff quitting. He's like, I'm sorry, LOL, this is ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Wait, did he admit to stealing it? Like he's like, yeah, I did.
Said, I'm paraphrasing here. If you don't believe that AI is used in coding, and you're anti-AI to that degree, you're in for a very horrible future. And
So
good
he's
luck
saying
with that.
AI
Yeah.
stole it on his behalf?
He didn't say that, but the inference is that he was using AI to vibe code it, and there's a possibility that it stole.
So
I
some
don't
lines of
know
code.
anything about this person, but they are such a diva.
So
like that they would go out of their way
let me
to
see if I
make
can
a
find
big
it real quick.
drama.
Scrap.
No,
Hold on,
that they would go out of their way to make a big drama about someone stealing their code when they had a robot make their code for them.
Well,
It's
okay,
crazy.
Here we
there
go.
it is. No, Scrap, hold on. Read this first sentence. Hold on. Annoyed at the slander, plus kind of getting kind of bored with this, to be honest.
Jesus.
Literally, what a diva. Oh my god, I'm on their side.
All right, let me read it for those our audio listeners. So Grok, I guess he means
Yeah.
Grok the AI, has decided why would you code? I don't know. Grok has decided to stop development for Neff UI. It was fun, and I think the add-on turned out decent. Annoyed at the slander, plus getting kind of bored with it, TBH. I recommend swapping to LVUI any CDM add-on. Arc UI is pretty cool. Centered cooldown manager. He's recommending things. If you don't want to use LVUI, use unhalted unit frames. P.S. If you support Quazii UI, fuck you. Add-on is all stolen code from an assortment of add-ons like Neff UI. Ironic, I know. Unhalted, basic, CDM. Almost every feature is stolen code, and he's charging people for it. That's a big part. We'll get to that in a second. PS, 90% of new add-ons that have popped up are all coded with AI because AI is very good at developing Lua. Because Lua is, I'm not going to say this word, simple language. Anyone can pick it up within 15 minutes if you know how to read. If you don't like AI because whatever reason your future is in this life is going to be miserable, and I pray for you, champion. We hit 150,000 downloads. It was pretty fun, but GG.
Yeah,
Okay.
just so people know, all the code in every single add-on is in Lua script on your like it's fully visible, right? You could see everybody else's
open the
code,
And then you
right?
can take it.
You're not, Blizzard doesn't allow you to obscure the code or hide the code or encrypt the code or do anything. You have to put it out in clear text. LVUI has a license on their GitHub that illustrates what you can do with their code and what you can't do, which is fine. Most of it is just, hey, if you want to take it and you want to make it yours, you could personalize it. You can do whatever you want with it. They're fine with it as long as you're not trying to resell it, right?
Okay.
And I think Quazii saw LVUI kind of hemming and hawing and wasn't sure if they were gonna, do anything. he went out. He may have it's an accusation. He may have copied some of that code. He may have copied code from other add-ons, but I think he was waiting, and LVUI wasn't doing anything at the time. He released his before LVUI made a release,
Well,
or
let's be clear. He released his
everyone else.
midnight add-on before LVUI has released theirs. LVUI's
Right.
midnight add-on is coming out this weekend.
Right. So,
He's trying to corner the
I
market.
think he
He's
thought,
like, get mine.
yeah, well, no, I think he thought he was free and clear. And then, I think the reason he quit is because there was some guilt associated with what he had
Well,
done.
Patreon
even
might have
though
also
the
gotten involved.
Wait, but
screenshot-
so I don't
Yeah.
understand coding and stuff. How likely is it that he just made the same code? Like,
We
is
actually
it
have
not
screenshots of the
impossible?
code. So
Yeah,
So
I
some
I
of the
don't I can't look at
screenshots-
that. Like,
So,
how is it? Could he have come up with
but-
this
so this
at the
is-
same time convergently?
a lot of the code that is screenshotted is generic functions to look
Right.
at, like, this is a scaling function. Like, you could write this in a slightly different way, but at the end of the day, it's going to look very similar, right? Because the resolutions are all the same. You're going to check height and width, and it's very mathematical, right? And so, but I do think just looking at the code, it looks very similar. So he may
It
have
looks.
copied.
You say it looks plagiarized, in your opinion?
I mean, look at it. It does, but he may have copied
I
these
don't know.
functions. But these functions they're
So scrap
like
this.
utility
Basic.
functions. Like they're not like
These are not the
not-
creative part of what he's doing, right?
no.
Like,
It's not going to differentiate. This doesn't differentiate an add-on. To me, it doesn't. Like being able to make sure your add-on is scaled appropriately. Yeah, you need a generic function for that, and
so could you say
found
he
one.
took it? He could have taken it from any add-on. He didn't take it from LVUI, maybe.
Well, no, I think the argument here is that because he used LVUI in his original, we'll call
Yeah.
it,
Oh, then he
skins.
probably used it again.
Like he probably just went to the LVUI and said, "Hey, I really like that my boxes or whatever are this width and this height." I'm sorry, this is actually for the screen, but like this is
But-
what my nameplate, for example, looks like. And so I would think
Well,
that if he
but
did
what
intentionally copy this, he might have gone in and said, "Okay, let me just look at this and rinse and repeat."
But what happened was when he was offering his add-on, his UI for free,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't violating the
terms of
license
service, yeah.
that LVUI
Right.
had on their GitHub. But then when they did the add-on changes, when Blizzard did the add-on changes, he had to do something because he wasn't able to give out his weak auras, because that's what you paid for, was his
Yeah.
weak auras.
Oh, so he's
So-
charging for this for the first time ever.
Yeah, so he
Yeah.
changed the way he monetized it, and that
Yeah.
I think is what put people into a bad place.
Now, if I was him and I did this, let's say I did copy it, I didn't read the clause, I didn't think anybody would catch me, like, who the fuck would even look at this is what I would think. I would be like, oh, my bad, guys. Like, I did borrow some generic stuff. I didn't see it. I'm going to stop charging for it. Like,
So
does that
This-
seem fair? what do
well,
you say?
out of curiosity, if the version of LVUI that was originally on the GitHub, if that's technically no longer workable because the API changes, does that change any kind of like the licensing of it at all? So like
No.
if Quazii were to rework it, no, it doesn't. Okay.
No,
I'm
because
guessing
we
the
also have to
licensing was
assume
on the
that
thing he took.
the coding, because these are things that are not API restricted, so the coding would for the
Yeah.
most part stay the same on the new version.
I
I
gotta
do-
say,
Yeah,
not knowing much about Quazii either, like just reading this where he's like, yeah, like he's not admitting that he took it or whatever, but like just being like, I'm getting in drama, I'm gonna quit. That's not like I'm not on his
Yeah,
side. He's not the
There-
diva.
there's parts of it too where he mentions like it's basic math. This isn't like Lithium was kind of saying it's stuff you might find in other code, but I think
Well, what he needs to do is he needs to say like, I didn't do it then. Like I didn't.
He didn't.
copy
He
it.
said, "Who owns
Well-
the right to put sugar in canned drinks?" That's what he said.
yeah.
Well, he's saying he did do it. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
I think
okay.
he's trying to say that he's
is he arguing
doing
that they
stuff
shouldn't? Yeah.
Well,
I think
he's not arguing
arguing-
at all anymore.
Yeah,
He-
yeah, not anymore. But he
Quit.
was kind of trying to say that he's doing things that anyone would have to put an add-on like this, and I think that's kind of how he.
If you
was
wanted to make
justifying
Did
soda,
it.
you
you have to
copy it?
you have to copy quote unquote sugar. is what he's saying.
But you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Okay, I get. But that's saying that like they shouldn't be allowed to license sugar. Like but they are. They already are. So you
Yeah.
have to play ball with them.
He could. I think he could have handled it in a different way, but I think he
Yeah,
got emotional.
yeah.
He got emotional, and he let
Yep.
the emotions get the best of him, and he made some poor choices in the heat of the moment, and that ended up stressing him out to the point where he just said, "You know what? I'm walking away."
Is he not making
And
like dungeon guides and shit anymore?
No, he says
Not
pretty
really.
Nice.
well.
No,
He said
actually,
he's walking away.
this is what he's been working on for the past like few months. He hasn't been like
Yeah.
doing any videos or anything. So I'm sure that
That's where his emotions come from.
everything. Yeah, exactly. This is probably a big thing he was working on, and and I think I can understand why he would want to charge for it with that much work that was being put
Yeah.
behind it. I think eventually the plan was to make it free, but at least in this early stage, it was paywalled. So I don't know anything about that. I'd have to look more
So-
into that. But
So here's the thing where
yeah.
I want to understand what you guys think. Is this a 1-to-1 like fair comparison? So his argument, of course, taking aside the code copying, right? Because like I have a whole lot to talk about that in a second, but the paywalling of it, right? So he's like, all right, well, hold on a second. There is a term in the terms of service that say from Blizzard, add-ons must be distributed free of charge. Developers may not create premium versions of add-ons with additional pay features, charge money to download an add-on, or charge for the service related to the add-on. Otherwise, blah blah blah. And he's like, but hold on a second. Liquid Raid weak auras, which was like a huge everyone must have kind of thing, was gated behind the Patreon
Yep.
for at least a little while.
Yep.
Your favorite streamers like Kalamazi. Now, granted, Kalamazi I think posted his on Wowhead on for free, but I'm just saying, let's say for example, when I was playing Aflock, I downloaded his weak aura pack. There were a couple other people who had like Growl and Dorky I think had some premium.
Lithian posted one earlier. Sakurai, I think it was.
right?
UI had like a pack. Yeah.
But so there was like all these, and the premium guides you had to pay for, stuff like that. I'm just gonna use Liquid Weak Aura because I think that's the one that almost everyone who plays at a high level will
And
understand.
That's one I have experience with too, so I can also kind of
Yeah.
help you with that. That one, what you're paying for in the Patreon is you're paying for the up-to-date version that they are literally making during the Race to World First. So if you're I'm like CE Guild and you want to get into Mythic early, like within the first couple weeks, having access to that is very valuable because you're having the weak auras they're making for the fights that they already killed that you're progressing, and they're updating them every day. So you don't need to get them. You're not getting the finished version. You're getting the version as they're working on it, and then once the race is over, they release them onto Wago for free. So
do you think that's in violation of the policy?
So I think in terms of what the policy is written, yes, but I don't. I mean,
Well,
I don't
not.
mind.
But
It's
Blizzard
not?
isn't
Okay.
the one telling
Well,
Quazii, "Hey,
it's-
don't do
Well,
this."
okay,
They don't
actually,
care
the-
clearly.
he's
the
right because
reason-
it's a profile, right? It's not like
the reason why it's not is because it's a profile string. You're paying for the profile string. You're not paying for weak auras.
I will say
But has
specifically.
Blizzard? Sorry, go on.
No, that's okay. Since the Liquid one is probably a lot of their own personal developers at the race coding on the fly, I think that's a reasonable one to be gated behind something like this. But there's other ones I could see people maybe having some.
Let's put that to bed real
I
quick.
mean-
Like, do you think any of them are unreasonable in the sense of like, hey, it's your money, do what you want with it?
Well,
No,
None of these are
absolutely not.
required.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to buy any of these. You could
Yeah.
create your own profiles to look exactly like these if you want to put the time and effort into it. What you're paying for is saving yourself time by letting them give you the profile string. And that's a choice. Like you don't have to pay to win here. It's just you're paying to get that
I feel
profile
like-
string and save
And-
yourself some time.
That's the only thing I'd have an issue with too, I think, is if there was ever an add-on that was, if you had this add-on, you're just 10 times better than every other player, then that's the one thing where I'd be like, okay, you can't have something like that where you pay for it and you're just
Well,
instantly better.
Now that weak
Which-
auras are gone,
Yeah, you won't have it.
you
Yep.
won't even have that, you know?
Yeah.
Well, here's I feel like this whole thing about like, oh, like why are people selling a bi-week orders? This isn't like what the drama's about. It's kind of distraction for him to bring it up at the end of his statement where
Well,
he's like, "Well, should anybody like everybody's arguing about should we be
no.
selling it?" That's not the
If
issue. It's like
if
Blizzard
if
doesn't have an
he
issue
was
with him. People don't have an issue with him. It's LVUI that has an issue because he took the code. It doesn't have anything to do with
They
buying
took
or
the code and
selling.
tried to profit off of it, though, Scrap.
Right, but that's
if
because
he
it
wasn't
violated. It's because it violated their license, not because it's morally
right.
wrong. Like,
Well, you could argue, though,
Well,
that the reason
right.
why LVUI never charged is because they saw the policy and said that we're not going to risk it.
Yeah, LVUI
okay,
doesn't charge for their stuff, and
They may want to,
they
though.
don't want. I mean, they might want to someday. I
are
won't
they
buy
just
it, but
kind
you
of
know,
throwing up their hands and being like, "No fair, like we're law-abiding citizens and
they
you're
No,
don't.
not, and you're
They
just
don't
getting
want
away
to
with it."
see.
Scrap.
They don't
Scrap.
want to see somebody else profit from what they did.
AI
So that
steals art all
their
the time,
license
right?
makes sense.
That's
Yeah,
right. Art,
absolutely.
right? And it's free to you put it on Snapchat or whatever, and it's free, and you're like, cool.
So the
And
difference
then AI
is that you
steals
can't
it, and
source.
Meta takes it and does something with it. You're not gonna be happy about that.
Right. I have complicated feelings about it because I do think that AI aggregates like all of human art. Like it has this huge
It
catalog and you
does
can't source it directly
100%.
as like stealing from somebody. That's why I'm trying to understand the code thing is like is this something he reasonably could have come, or is this like he traced over somebody's drawing like straight up? Like cuz AI isn't tracing over people's
I
drawings. It's like taking an aggregate and creating something new. Even if it stole it, even if
Sure,
it
but
was like,
with art, there's no such thing
trained.
as working art, right? This has to work. So there's only so many solutions that it can come to. That people would use
Yeah,
the same
that's why
solution over and over
I
again.
get it. I get it. That's why I'm trying to figure out, like, is this guy cooked? Like, he for sure stole it. Like, for sure he stole it. Then he violated the license, and it's like he can kick and scream all he wants. He's like, well, they can't put a license on sugar. It's like, well, they did. So you need to use sucrose, I guess. Like, figure it out.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's where the emotion comes in. I think he probably, like Lithian said, was just not processing it right and just kind of it just had kind of a crash out.
Well, this
I get it. I
Especially
mean,
if
he's
this is
working
something-
on this, and if this is reasonable, like if it's reasonable to take a bit of someone's code and have AI build a bit and stuff, and like that's what's expected
And-
in coding, then I can understand his crash out because he put in all the hard work to make it his own.
I think there's probably a bit of resentment too, because it seems like the only reason he was working on this was because LVUI weren't sure.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it seemed like they weren't going to make anything, or at least they hadn't announced their intention to. They just said at this time we can't make something for midnight. We'll see later down the road. And so he said, okay, well, I like the customization of the UI. I'm gonna go in. And I don't think he was like mustache twirlingly evil, like, haha, I'll just take their code. They won't realize. I think he's like, hey,
But that's what they're
this
accusing
is
him of.
stuff I like
Yeah.
doing. This is like stuff I like. I want this to be in my UI. So
I don't think
a
they're
little bit
necessarily
here, a little
saying
bit
he was
there.
malicious with his intent. They were just saying, look, dude, you
Yeah.
took our code. That's not
But
okay.
I guess that's where I'm trying to get a clearer picture of like code ethics, because like if you were to do up a sketch and then I were to take your sketch and color it, like that would
yeah,
be bad art
well,
ethics,
and
you know.
we're just so I can finish my point real quick. I think
Mhm.
then when LVUI comes out later and says, okay, yeah, we're actually going to do something, he's probably like throwing his hands up in the air. Well, what am I supposed to do now? Like, and it's just now they're coming after him for the code. He's like, well, you guys weren't going to do anything. Like,
Yeah,
what
but
like,
you
what
could
are
get
you
ahead of
doing,
that by reaching out to him immediately and saying, hey, I need to talk to you about this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
and but we don't know. Maybe he did.
Well,
And maybe he didn't understand the license.
He could have
But
went
that's on
back
him to figure
to
out.
right. He could have went back to saying, "Hey, I'm going to sell profile strings and give LVUI credit,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
it's due, and called it good." But whatever. He took a route, and it got him
This-
to the point where he said, "I'm done."
This is where,
It is
okay,
what it
so
is.
you guys, we haven't talked about it a lot on the podcast, but there was a Twitter crash out of mine months back. And
Yeah,
a
we're not
big
gonna talk
part of
about
the
that.
arguments
There's been
everyone
a
kept
few.
throwing at me, right, was that, because I was talking about like, it's going to be fine. And they're like, well, Blizzard should just like take the code of all the, like, he's like, okay, add-ons have been
Right.
made for 20 years.
I said that.
Right? Add-ons been made for 20 years. Why don't they
Well-
just take their code and, build details into the game or whatever? And like the argument was like,
Yes.
they can't do that. They're not allowed to do that. Even if it's free,
Well,
at the very
hard for
best, they'd
people-
have to like give
Yeah.
credit and possibly profit share of some extent, or like negotiate that, of course, with the add-oner. But like, everyone told me I was a fucking idiot, that's not how it works. And then now we're here and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I think most people don't understand what the ethics behind this is for coding. Because like, if I'm to think of this as like an art thing, and like LVOI did a sketch, they were like, I'm probably not gonna finish it. And then this guy comes in and he's like, I finished it. It looks awesome. And they're like, we were gonna finish that. We were gonna do it and sell it. And you can't sell that. That's my
Their
understanding.
license is very clear. It
It
coding
seems to be
is
cut and dry, like that he messed up. There's a license that says you
it,
can't sell this. He did, and he stole it.
well,
Like, it seems clear to me.
it's
So
all about intellectual property, right? And there's it's hard because all this Lua stuff is out in the open. It's available, it's public, it's on, like, you're gonna download an add-on, it's on your PC, you can go open up the
right,
Lua files in a text editor and you can look at all the code, right? And you can just copy and paste and do whatever you want.
you can't sell it.
But
That
it's
makes sense
all
to me.
right. It's intellectual property. There's some morals in place. Blizzard has some guidance in place, but really you shouldn't go out and try to resell something you didn't create in the first
Yeah.
place.
Do you think
There's
maybe
some
he thought he
challenges with
would?
that.
Do you think he thought maybe he wouldn't get caught? Like, what was his mentality with
No,
it?
he
It's like
thought I
nobody's gonna look
think
at it.
what Io was alluding to I think he thought that LVY wasn't going to do
Calling in
anything.
the
And
towel.
so
Yeah.
yeah, cuz I mean they didn't sound I didn't hear that LVY was going to release a pre-patch
They
until
kind of took the same
recently.
stance WeakOrs did, just not as aggressively.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right, because I could have swore I saw something saying
Yeah.
they weren't going to do
Yeah.
anything, but then they came out and said, "Okay, we're going to do something."
And in
But
fairness, it's Blizzard's
that
fault for
entire
reversing
time,
a lot of their decisions.
right? But the entire time, Quazii was out there building his stuff. He's been doing releases consistently for his UI and having people test
Yeah.
it and play with it. And you know, I'm sure it was decent, and he got it to a great place. But then this happened, and it changed everything for him, and he didn't take it too well.
I get
I
it.
think the
Can we
big
go
part
back?
is just the charging part. Like, I mean, that's such a
Yeah,
important part
no,
of the
I
story.
think it's cut and dry. He violated the license. He's in the wrong. Like, and you can
Well, and it was
say
violating
like you said,
policy of Blizzard
can do a
too.
license. Yeah, but it seems like you were saying, there's some gray area there. Like, there's been these CE guilds
The,
that release these things and sell them
well,
that, and they
the gray
crack
area
Blizzard
is
never cracked down. So
So the gray
it.
area is like Zygor, for example. The add-on Zygor is free to download. You have
Yeah,
Zygor, but Zygor doesn't do anything unless you download a guide into it. And that's
yeah.
what you pay
has
for. You pay for the guide that you put into it that's not
That's
part
but
of
but
the
that sounds
add-on.
like a
I can
workaround
understand Blizzard
of
having
the
Blizzard
policy.
has the policy, but have they ever enforced it? Do they enforce it
No, but I
consistently or
mean, this isn't
frequently,
the
or is
first
it
time
just
we've
kind
talked
of?
about Blizzard not enforcing a policy of even cheating, right? Like, I mean,
I know, but
But
it just
this
seems like they might have this policy
they
for like liability or to protect them from like, I don't know, like a different MMO stealing something or selling it. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how
yeah.
no
like they probably aren't bothered by people making a
the
little bit of money off add-ons, but
the policy was put in place to protect the players from getting encrypted code that can cause issue or harm to their PCs originally, right? The policy was
yeah,
created
and
in
if
like
it's not
2018.
happening, that's what I'm
It
saying. If
hasn't
that's
No,
been
not happening, they're
2009. It
touched.
was
not
made in
enforcing it.
2009.
2000,
Yeah.
2009. It hasn't been
4 years
touched,
after the
right?
game came out and add-ons were starting to
But
become prevalent.
I do feel
Right, I
like
see it
it's
right there.
fair to
But
say that if Blizzard doesn't have a history of cracking down and enforcing this, and that people are selling add-ons or whatever, like in the gray area, right? That like even bringing up like, well, it violates Blizzard's thing. It seems like that's kind of a
Well, the difference though is that
that shouldn't be part of
WeakOrs,
the
like
conversation.
Liquid and Zygor didn't take other people's code.
no, that's
Yeah,
also true.
well, but Blizzard doesn't have any policy against you can't sell a Weakor if you stole it from somebody else. Like that's not what the policy is.
He went to Patreon. He didn't go to Blizzard. He was saying
I know
like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying I feel like the Blizzard policy is kind of like
a moot point.
it's not relevant.
Yeah, okay.
It's totally
Well,
not relevant to any of this.
No, and
Well,
so like I think what ultimately happened is that because Quasi's been doing this for a while. He's been selling his skins, let's call it, for a while now.
Yeah.
And I think maybe what happened was he saw an opportunity to become like a little bit more of a mogul in this space. and he
Yeah,
flew a
to
little
fill the
too close
void
to
if
he
LUI didn't
flew
step in.
he flew too close to the sun, right?
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is, like, I get it. He worked like 3 months nonstop on this thing, stopped his channel for the better, way of framing that, and was just like probably super excited about it too. And I just don't understand how, if you invested so much in that and you knew that you copied and pasted, or if you knew that you were using AI to write it, that you wouldn't have just slowed down for a second and said, I definitely took this from LVUI, and just reach out to them and start communicating with them so that you knew where they felt, like where they stood on it.
To be fair, he might have done that. And we
No,
just don't know about
because
it.
Lucky One and all them would have like addressed this long time ago.
Or maybe they're trying to make him look really bad.
Well,
and,
maybe.
and
Maybe.
we'll see. And in a couple days, here's the dream. In a couple days, Quazii dumps a ton of DMs where they've been misleading him to think he was chill.
I think Quazii will come back, by the way. I don't think he's gone.
Yeah, I think so too. He's having a fit.
might.
He's having a hissy fit, It's his
He
whole life.
might come back, and he may do guides and things like that. But I think the other problem is this X.com platform is freaking terrible, man. You could just, I don't know.
It is.
I don't go out there very often,
Terrible.
but Frank posted a link and I clicked on it, and then I started reading all the stuff, and it's just like, people
here's my
just jump
problem.
on everything.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point too, is you have a situation where someone posts a thing saying, oh, fuck this, it took, it used this, and like the first 10 to 20 people who read that's going to formulate their opinion on it. They're going to see that as fact because they're not going to know everything that happened. Then they're going to post something, and then it becomes a game of like online telephone to the point where you're like, oh, did you hear about the drama? And then you don't even know like what the original situation was, like what to this point, like I still don't understand quite what people are upset about Quazii with. Are they upset because he put stuff behind a paywall, or are they upset because he copied code? Are they upset because both? Are they upset because he was crashing out? I don't know.
I was confused when the discussion turned to like, should he be allowed to, like, should people buy and sell add-ons? I was like, that doesn't have anything to do with him violating the license. Like, he can't sell this one because he took it. Not like he can't sell add-ons in general.
To be clear, I think the reason the whole money thing was brought up was because Lucky One was like, look, to take our code is not the big problem. It's to take it and then try to profit off of it. That's why this is being talked about. And
yeah, that's the license violation.
Maybe people on Twitter were talking about Blizzard's policy, but as Lucky One stated in his tweet, he didn't go to Blizzard. He went to Patreon to say, someone stole my intellectual property and is now trying to profit off of it through your platform, and that is against Patreon's terms of services.
Oh, did he? That's very messy. He went to Patreon and tried to call him out?
Well, yeah, I mean, where else would you go if someone's stealing your... You can't go to Blizzard with this. Blizzard's not going to give a shit.
Well, why didn't you... You haven't even told me all the drama. I didn't know that he went to Patreon and said...
It was the first
I missed
tweet.
it. I was still absorbing it.
It's a very small thing, and it's not even really the biggest point of it.
Wait, did they shut down his Patreon?
That's why money's being brought up, Scrap. It's because he took their stuff and tried to sell it.
I get it, yeah.
People just can't go ahead and copy files and code from an all rights reserved project and sell it for money on different platforms. Okay, so that's got to be the main issue then.
No, the issue is that it violated the license, not that you shouldn't be able to sell this thing that other people are selling.
No one has a problem with him selling his stuff if he built it from scratch.
Why are we talking about it?
We're talking about it because this is okay. So this is going into this whole like Blizzard's getting blamed for this.
Why is Blizzard getting blamed for this? They didn't do anything.
Because Quazii was trying to deflect from himself, and that's why he brought up.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is that he was trying to distract from the issue. Like Blizzard, like, I mean, they're probably aware of this, but they've made no statement about this, right? They're not emailing.
They're not going
Patreon.
To say anything about it.
Yeah, no, they don't even give a fuck. Like I said, I feel like that policy it hasn't been changed since 2009. It's in there to protect some random bullshit, and they're like, yeah, just leave it up. Whatever, like they're not enforcing it.
They will enforce it if it becomes a problem for the community, which the community doesn't have an overall problem with people paying $5 for an add-on.
They're gonna put a blue post and say like the community has spoken and we've decided that Quazii is a dirty stealer and we won't have
They
his
would
add-ons in
never.
our game.
What are
Like,
you
what the
talking
fuck?
about? They would never do
No,
that.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. That's so absurd. So why even bring it into the conversation?
What the hell does water is wet, but at least finally someone making a move?
I was looking at that. I have no idea what that means.
What-
So wait.
We're gonna
So
start
is
saying
the-
that.
Can we go back to the?
Xvirus.
Can we go back to the diva? Because is the diva selling the add-on that is
No,
stolen?
No.
Nephew I was free.
Yeah, enough was.
It was free.
Okay.
They were just
So look at
saying
that.
like
Free, and
they
he
didn't
just said
they
I'm
didn't
done.
like the flack they were getting for people saying you're a AI slop whore.
Yeah.
I like that part of the drama.
You like that part?
That was
it wasn't
fun.
even like a whole lot of.
Here's
they
the
just,
thing. Here's the thing why the diva got away with it is because they admitted that they did it. They're just like,
No,
yeah, I
and
did
listen-
that
no,
shit.
no, but,
Fuck
like,
you.
They didn't.
To bring this back to
Well-
bring this back to Blizzard though, people are
Yeah.
saying, look what you did, Blizzard. Like this is what they're like. This would never have happened if you
No.
just let us have weak auras.
This is
And-
literally
Oh
the
my
guy on the
gosh.
bike. This is
Yes,
literally the guy
yes.
on the bike who falls
The
off and
spokes.
is like, "Fuck you, Blizzard." Like Blizzard is not even in the panel like of the comic. They're
Yeah.
like,
Although
what the fuck?
now that I'm thinking about it, the Danders frame and Nephew I thing, there's really nothing Danders could have really done about that. Yeah, because there was no license on that one.
Well, even if there was, he wasn't using
So-
it for profit. So like Blizzard would have
Well,
just
they
been like,
can
you're both
still say-
idiots.
Oh yeah. Good point. Yeah.
They can still say like, "Don't do that," and it's scummy to do that. They just can't,
Right, and that's why
They don't really have anything
I
to stand
think
on it.
the one guy was getting backlash.
Getting away
'cause
with
of
it.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, they can call you out on social media, or they can add petty things into their add-ons. To,
Yeah,
to call
I
you
like
out.
this. This is funny. It's cute. I like it. I like that kind of thing.
Uh,
I think Quazii. Like, here's my message to Quazii, who's definitely watching. Like, you worked really hard on this,
I don't think
but
he's
you
watching.
did. Listen, Quazii, you worked really hard on this, and that sucks. Like, but you did cut some quarters. You did take some code, and there was a rule that said specifically you can't do that. So you can't. So just pick yourself back up. Don't do that anymore. Keep making your videos with the big booby AI women. People love those. Every time I try to say I've got a hazelnutty guide, they're like, "We have the Quazii guide. It's better." You do that fine. WoW is great. They'll let you in. You didn't pirate software, anybody. It's fine. That's my
Alright.
message to Quazii.
I'm glad you got that out. Glad you got
I-
that out. You'll be very happy.
I only brought all of this up just because it seems like no matter what, this is just going to be an apocalypse of our own creation. Because all
Yeah.
Blizzard did was say, like,
I
look, we
like
just
stuff
don't want you
like
doing
this.
Fractalus with the fucking weak aura. Like, that's all we want.
Right. No, I like stories like this. I hope more things happen. You know what? I like X.com because people get messy enough that it's
Oh,
worth
God.
talking about on it.
It is a mess. I mean, I told you guys last week
Yeah.
about that former world first raider who was like going really into the whole ice situation. I was
Yeah.
like, why are you picking
God,
this
no.
fucking fight?
We don't.
Oh,
We're not going to
God.
talk politics. Hopefully, we
Yeah,
don't
don't-
ever have
don't
to talk
talk.
politics
Yes.
on the podcast. But like, yeah, this kind of stuff is the stuff I like hearing about. Even though I don't understand code and code
Well,
ethics and all this stuff.
We only got like 15 minutes left, so let's talk about the big end.
We don't have
gameplay loop
time.
to talk about housing.
Oh,
What Scrap? I
I thought you
know
were
what
gonna
I'm
talk
doing
about
here, Scrap.
I think you're talking about the Marvel
I
Rivals.
know
on
what
their
I'm
way.
doing here, Scrap. Thank you.
We gotta talk
Anyways,
about Endeavors,
Tell me
man.
about why you
Endeavors.
think the housing gameplay loop sucks.
No,
the
I
line.
don't want to say that housing gameplay loop sucks. I just think this isn't the gameplay loop I'm looking for, is what I want to say.
These aren't the
Is that-
droids you're looking for.
No, I mean, we've talked over and over about gameplay loop, and people said, well, there's going to be a gameplay loop with Endeavors. And I was describing, I have a beautiful analogy, that this isn't a loop, it's just a line that's stretched very long. So it's time gated so that you feel like it's a loop, but it's actually not. I understand maybe there'll be more in live, better in live or something, but like, one jump puzzle, one
They're in
collect
live
thing.
now.
I mean, no, in
Yeah.
midnight. Sorry, in midnight.
Midnight, gotcha.
Yeah, it's like literally one jump puzzle, one go back through
Well,
like a bunch of an hour
it-
of going through old content, and then okay, like that's not a loop.
Could Frank show the illustration that you made?
Yeah.
Is that
Well,
okay?
I feel like it's not relevant, because the
I
reason
was just entertained by it.
the reason I brought up the illustration is because you, Lithian, said it was a loop. Like you're like this something about gameplay loop. You use the word. And Oss was complaining about why is the time gating so slow? Like what are they doing? And I was trying to illustrate it's like when you don't have a gameplay loop, you have a gameplay line. You don't have a loop. You stretch it out really long so that people think they're in a loop, and then you can't see the end of the line because it's stretched so thin. That's why you can only do so little with your endeavor.
I don't want to get bogged
And
down in the
Franco's
details
really
of this.
confused by my diagram.
Because I think you're saying that's a gameplay line. Like, no, gameplay loop is I log in and I do these 4 things as my gameplay loop for the day, and then I come back the next day and complete the loop again, which does exist. It's not that it's a line, it's just a very, very small circle.
Small line, and I don't think the activities are like the one where you walk around and fix the road and the fences. That one's cool.
Hold on.
I wish you
okay, I was gonna
more,
say I like that one.
We do that.
I
We do
wish
that
you would
together.
do
Yeah.
more stuff in the neighborhood. I don't want to go to the Netherstorm and run like Scrap was saying, like Mana Tombs or all those other things. Like, I mean,
I will
that's
not be
fine
doing
in
that.
that's fine in a vacuum, but
Well, you just do it once for the whole month. It's like, okay, I'll just knock that out.
yeah, exactly.
But that's
It's like, do it
not
one time.
housing gameplay loop. That's
That's not.
recycling old gameplay things and making us do it again. And saying, here's your gameplay, bro.
It's like Blizzard saw how much fun people were having getting decor from old dungeons, and they're like, okay, yeah, this is the stuff they want to do, but they don't realize that this needed to be something else entirely.
It's even worse than that because the things that actually give you the most amount of experience are locked behind things that you would have had to have done back in this case, we're doing the ethereal one, so back in Burning Crusade. So there's one that you have a mini boss that's in Mana Tombs, and you can only unlock it if you did this like huge quest line in Burning Crusade. Which, okay, fine, like reward the person that did that work way back when. I get that point, but like, the completionists in all of us are gonna be like, whoa, fuck! Now I gotta go get this key, and they're gonna do all these quests. Which, by the way, it's not in any way easy to understand what you need to do to get this key.
And
even
also,
Wowhead's comment section is not helping you.
Yeah, and those reputations also are not warbound yet. So if you don't either don't have that character anymore, don't have access to the character that did that stuff, or that character is not in a position to be doing it, then you're kind of screwed.
Yep.
Yeah, and here's the main thing that I said early on when we talked about endeavors is I didn't want endeavors to not be related to the neighborhood. And it's like, why am I going back and doing ancient fucking content, doing ancient fucking dungeons? Like, I can understand, it's like ethereal, so it's tied to Netherstorm or whatever. But it's like the actual thing I'm doing. Like, let's say I'm a housing main. I love housing stuff. Like, I don't want to like trudge through Mana Tombs. Like, that's not my vibe. I want to do house type stuff. So like the fence building and like the picking up the sticks and stuff, that's more what I was looking for. Now I would like more variety of that, like maybe like kind of like a daily quest type of thing where today it's like all the fences got broken because the cows broke out, so we got to go check that out, or like hey, like a storm blew all the sticks down in the whatever, the spooky area, so we have to go check out that area for now. Like that's good. The jump puzzle I love jump puzzles, I love that kind of thing, but having one that we're supposed to do over and over for the whole month, no, that is not it. You got to have more. We got to have more. We have got to have it all over the place. It's got to change too. So
in my mind, I'm imagining like, oh hey, we need to construct some new houses. We need someone to get us ore, and then the mining person can handle that one for the neighborhood, and then you can have something for like engineering or enchanting. You could have done something with that. You like scraps of the dailies with like cows breaking out. You could have done something with that.
They should have where you have to go put out fires in the neighborhood. Like, oh my god, there's a house on fire.
Or like,
oh, that'd be great.
Be like, oh hey, these we're going to build one of these shops. Vote on which one you guys want, and maybe people in the neighborhood could be like, okay, well this has more of this decor, so I want this, and then other people can be like, no, this has more of this decor, I want this.
That's the Animal Crossing way, where you have to like that someone needs to build a house, and you need to bring them like X amount of chairs and X amount of walls and X, and just like kind of help them, and then the thing is built. Because here's the thing, all that stuff you could start going.
Oh no, I was gonna say like have like a museum or something where people can put stuff in it. I don't know. I just
but those wouldn't be endeavors related. That would just be neighborhood related, right? So like that's the thing.
Yeah.
The endeavors have to have a flavor to them, and that's why I understand the old world content. However, it's not old world content that's fun if I'm going into a dungeon that I can literally one shot everything, only for just killing the boss to say, check, and like there's no like interaction with
Horrible.
the ethereals at all to say why did I do that, you know?
You know, it'd be a
Right.
really cool way to reuse that kind of old stuff, but keep it fresh. Is that if I had to go all the way to the back of the dungeon to like steal a chair, like
Yeah,
it's like
that's what
go
I
and
was
take
just
that
saying.
guy's chair,
And-
and then
and
you have it for
granted,
your
Like
house.
in
you
the
know,
Like,
Quest.
Maybe in the
Yeah.
future state they'll have stuff like that where it's like, okay, we actually have like a housing, you know, not even that. Like I need to go
Housing
into the
related.
dungeon to find a workbench or something that like I can only craft this chair at this workbench, right?
yeah,
Even though the exact same thing happens where I run into the dungeon and I run to the end of the dungeon to either kill the boss or use the workplace, at least I feel like I'm engaging with the housing part of it.
Yes.
Whereas like going to this ethereal spot in Blade's Edge Mountain or killing like what's his name? Not I'm gonna say Grok because of fucking AI. What's
Bashir.
the big raid boss that was Gruul?
Oh,
Gruul's son,
Gruul's
right?
lair.
Like what? What? There's no correlation. I don't
No,
even know when I
it
walked in
feels
there.
very, yeah,
Yeah,
feels
just
very
Were there-
lazy.
Was there anything else? I know, like, I saw someone his neighborhood did the Niffin one, and there was that little snail cart that you could throw stuff
Yeah,
into
yeah,
driving
snail
around.
mail.
But is there different endeavors? Like, are we just is the ethereal just a bad one, and the other ones are really good?
Maybe.
Does
I don't
anyone
know.
know?
Let us
Tell us in
let
the
us know in
comment.
the comments. Are the other ones really good?
Yeah.
Does anybody like?
This is the same
this
thing happened
kind
with
of
Delves. We
endeavor?
just like procced into the wrong one, and I'm gonna think it's terrible.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
like I'm fully
I
on
don't think
board
it's
of this
terrible.
idea
It's just
that
not
there's like
it.
no, but like there should be this thing that's like a 30-day. Did any of you guys play during the opening of the Encourage Gate?
No,
Or
but I
more
know
No, but
about
I
all
know
the
what it was about.
gameplay
Yeah.
stuff.
Or like when Sunwell was a raid and we had to like all contribute to the effort. Like that's what they need to be
That
I
doing
don't
in the
know about.
sense of like you said, they want to build a store. And it would even be cool that like after you completed this endeavor, the store was like permanently in, you know, it did nothing other than just existed, but the store was permanently in the
Yeah.
town somewhere. And everyone can contribute in their own way, whether it be, hey, we need ore for this, or hey, we need wood for that. And you know, you can do hell, I mean, they send me the Outland, and one of the achievements to move along my progress bar is to farm a whole bunch of lumber. I don't feel connected to it, but if I knew I could turn it in to
Yeah.
get something really fun or cool, it would be an entirely different experience. And the idea
Yeah.
of like, hey, so like every milestone, there's a mini game where, and even if it's repeatable, that's fine. Like I can take myself out of the idea that I'm rebuilding the same wall every day. That's fine because at least I feel like I'm engaging with why are these people here in my neighborhood to begin with, you know?
Hmm.
And that's what's missing from it.
Yeah.
I totally get
And-
the like the theme of it, and I should go to the Outlands to do X, Y, and Z, but don't just send me there for the sake of sending me there.
Yeah.
Well,
and I
let's
think
see. Okay, go on, Naya.
I think housing out of the gate was such a hit, especially with how creative people could get with it. And now we're kind of getting to the point where it has its first maybe kind of little hiccup.
yeah.
And it's still pretty early. There's still time for them to implement different things. Maybe the other Endeavor clans are better. But I do think that, you know, everyone gets really excited with, you know, Minecraft, seeing people's builds, but there's also a bunch of Minecraft players that just enjoy going in the caves and getting the stuff and
yeah.
that help build that stuff. So I think
Yeah.
I hope that they find a way to refine this part of it to make that fun for people who maybe, if you're not the one who wants to spend all day making a big house with like a ballroom or something, but maybe you want to really, but you like that your friends like to do that, so you want to really help contribute to the neighborhood, you can
Yeah.
still have a way to
Yeah.
do that.
Well, you can through Mythic
I mean,
Plus and stuff too.
Minecraft is the
Mhm.
perfect example, like stripped down, very perfect gameplay loop. You have to go in the caves to get resources to build your things. Then you build your things, you run out of resources, you got to go back and get the resources. So you're constantly like I want to build this thing. It's like, well, I have to go get the thing related to that, right? That's what they
Mhm.
need here. It needs to be connected. It needs to be related. I have to understand. It's like kind of 101 for this kind of game, I feel like. And I'm curious to think of other people who play that kind of game, creative game, resource gathering, a creative game, like if they feel like this is filling it. But I definitely don't think so. But I'm optimistic to see the roadmap. I still think it's a very good feature. This is gonna make me think that
It was a
people
little
get their
flat.
houses the
Yeah.
way they want them, and then I'm never gonna hang out at my house or your
Yeah.
house, or your house is gonna stay the same forever and it's never gonna change, and I have no reason to go and check out what you're doing once it's set in stone. And in 3 months, like, who cares about the house?
What about them time gating it?
That's what I was trying to get at with the line, is that because they don't have a loop,
The
they
long
make
line.
it, they stretch it so that they're like, it's like, well, why can I only get such a tiny bit of progress per day? It's like, well, because there's not enough features, there's not enough gameplay to like
Well, there
keep you
is. I mean,
engaged.
people are hitting the cap. They hit it on like day 2.
Well, okay, not if you do all the outland shit, but I'm not doing that. I'm only doing the pick up the pot, do the fix the fence, and do
So
the jump
it's only a
puzzle.
short line
And it's
because
like
the way
there's
you
3
play, not
things.
everyone else is playing.
No, but I see the line is stretched, is that people, like, you have to hit it really, really hard to get
Yes,
to
you
the end
do.
of it, because it is so, like, I guess there's like a diminishing returns sort of
Yeah.
element to it. Like, it's better to do it every day than to do it all at once.
That's also
And
confusing,
that's
which
them
is a problem
stretching
because
it.
like there's that,
Yeah.
you can complete the jump puzzle once a day, and there's a number next to it that says, like, let's say 10, right? 10
Yeah.
I guess experience. I don't know. What does that number really mean? When I do a kill the last boss of Mana Tombs and it says, 50, that's pretty straightforward. But these repeatable ones, like, I see I'm getting diminished returns. Is it going to like give me the check mark once I hit like maybe 40 out of 40 possible experience? I don't know. And so like that UI is also a little confusing.
Yeah, they're substituting gameplay for time gating, which is a classic trick. But you can't fool me because I've been playing this game forever, so I know when time gating is to
Can't fool me.
substitute. Time gating is substituting for gameplay.
All right.
But lucky for them, I sub all the time before the trading post, so it doesn't matter.
Well, and I think with Midnight launching and all the decor, because that's another thing, like there's not that much decor that you can go
Yeah,
out and interact with right away.
the roadmap. Right now, this is the lull
Yeah.
in the season,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like it's they're not supposed to be giving
Jesse,
us
you're
good
forgiven,
stuff.
bud.
Like,
Just
it's
keep
supposed to be the
doing
shitty
what you're
stuff.
doing, and maybe clean up endeavors to make them a little more
Well,
engaging.
Like, I feel like the fire should be under you a little bit more. Like, you're getting booed. Like, the boos are starting. So like, don't get run out of the theater. Like,
Yeah.
get us back.
Okay. Well, I have one last thing I want to talk about, which was the shitstorm that came out of the Transmog system launching. I'm gonna be honest, there was a resolution that came out of it, but I was a little surprised. So, okay, let's recap what happened, right? And Scrap, I think you kind of also were one of these people at first. The Transmog
crashed
system
all
is
of it almost.
arguably too expensive. Okay.
Okay. Here's my issue. I feel like it's fairly priced. However, I hate that I have to go in and immediately spend a ton of money to retransmog my characters that already had
On
transmogs
on patch day because of what, like, the bug.
Yeah, which they've gone back and fixed. Because
So-
that, I mean, if you have
Right.
20 characters that you all had in cute outfits, I mean, that's 40K. Like, that's nothing to sneeze at, right?
But-
Like,
Would you say? Because I was thinking about this the other day. The cost is like it's a huge upfront cost to buy all your slots and create all your transmogs to go into those slots. But once you've done that, does the cost go down because you're not?
You pay
you
40K
gotta
Yeah, I think
today,
it-
but you will
yeah,
not
there's
pay
that.
any more money.
I think it
Theoretically.
ultimately
Right.
will, but I do want to say every character that I had transmogged, I already spent 1000K to put their transmog on. So why do I have to spend
I think-
40K
no,
just to get?
Yeah,
What I
Scrap,
already-
like
the
this
20K
came
back I
out
already
this came out on Thursday, I believe, or maybe even Wednesday night. I think Blizzard acknowledged
Yeah.
like, oh, poop, like, because
Yeah.
people logged in and their transmogs were already
Yeah.
fucked up, and that's like
Yeah,
Blizzard
that's-
was not intending that, I don't think, right?
Not working as
Mhm.
intended. Okay, yeah.
so
So
they
I'll
say
give
like,
them that.
oops,
It was an
and,
accident.
and they said, hey, everyone will get their transmogs to get their shit cleaned up because and again,
Yeah.
it was just one, because everything else you'd have to pay to, your second slot and third slot. You
Wait,
would
is
have had
this,
to pay
is
for
this in live
regardless.
right now?
No, this is
'Cause
not.
I've
It's
been
coming. It's
waiting
coming
to
in
do this.
12.01. However,
Okay, can
However.
you remind me?
However, the shitstorm did not
What?
stop because people were still saying, Dude, it's
Oh.
still way too expensive. So Blizzard came out and
No,
now
I think it's fair.
well, now they've nerfed it by 50%. So
Wow.
they
Well,
nuked it.
I didn't know
They
that.
Dude,
nuked
I
it-
wasted so much money.
They nuked it into the ground, right? Which I don't know if I
Yeah.
agree with this. Now, granted, at the end of the day, Blizzard may have said, like, who cares? It's like the gold economy is whatever.
No, they need to drop this. They cannot be making that much like gold sink off of transmogging. There has to be only a handful of people who hit it as hard as I do, right? Like this isn't how they get money out
don't
of the
know about that.
economy. But,
I think
but I mean,
everybody.
like this is just not how you're gonna get money out of the economy. Why are you nickeling and
No,
diming
the
people
old
on,
transmog
like,
system
this
would have been the
very
way to
fun
do that
thing?
because you would have been changing it left and right.
Yeah, I get it, but they're
Yeah.
acknowledging that they're losing that, right? And so they need to put a cost on it to kind of recoup a little bit. But I think, like, dude, just give us this cool feature you have. Like, stop, just give it to us.
You,
It's
you want it
enough.
to be free.
I
You
want
just want
to.
to be
No,
able to.
I think this is very reasonable, right? Like,
Well, you said the
think this is
original price was reasonable.
I think the original price is reasonable.
So this is
I do.
this is
And
not
so
reasonable then.
when-
This is more than reasonable.
Well, I'm not going to complain about it being more than
No, of
reasonable.
course not.
I'm
No one's
gonna be happy.
complaining.
Yeah, like,
I'm
very
more
happy.
worried.
So
Well, I'm not even worried. I
confused.
don't know why. I ultimately
What are you
don't. I
worried
shouldn't
that they're
give a
not
shit.
going to get enough
No,
money?
I shouldn't give
out
a
of
shit.
the
I just more am
economy?
like I just I feel like
What's
this
the
was not
downside here?
but-
That they
No, okay, hold on. Let me
What?
explain. Scrap. We've got shit we need to worry
Okay.
about in the game, right? We got shit we need to worry
Yeah.
about.
what shit? I'll say yes.
Survival
bite.
Hunter. You're worried about the design, right? And they just like they
Yeah,
kind
but
of
how
like
hard is it for them to just
they
tip the
have all of
slider
us
on
sitting
this
there
one?
yelling about, oh my god, this is a problem. Hey, this is a problem. This is a problem. And then people come along and say, holy shit, I cannot believe Blizzard's doing this. And Blizzard goes, all right, fuck, let's fix
Oh.
this. No, go fix the other shit. Come on, like I want my fucking damage meter to stop sitting in the top left
But
corner of
you
my
know what?
screen.
Frank, I bet it's a lot easier for them
Yes,
to
it is.
flick the slider down on
Significantly
this.
easier. You're right.
And then they can make a lot of people happy, and then maybe those people being happy will drown out the people who are
Let's be
agonized
honest.
over the
They're
damage meter.
not
for your
happy.
bot.
That's
They're
you,
never
Scrap.
happy.
Well, here,
The
let me tell you what I'm
dopamine.
not happy about with Transmog and what they need to fix.
Oh,
Absolutely
here we go.
Transmog is unplayable currently. That's the title of the episode.
What do
Oh,
you
God.
play? What do you play?
I'll tell you why it's unplayable. You cannot move your outfit slots around. Once I made all my
I
outfit
put a post
slots,
on the I put a
put
post on the forum for you for that.
Thank you. I paid a pretty penny for it. I
Can't you
splashed
make an
out.
icon
Look,
and put it in a
I s-
bar?
hold
Yes.
on. I splashed
She
out
wants she wants to reorder
20K
it though.
or to 20 of them. I wanted to reorder them in a rainbow. So the red were at the top and the purple were at the
Oh
bottom.
my god!
And I
You're
could
like
not.
you're like
I couldn't do
Blizzard,
that.
get to work.
you're
What are
like
you
the
doing?
Definition.
Here's
You're
the
the
sad thing.
definition of an edge case that nobody else is gonna do.
No, tell me in the comments if you have this problem. But
Oh.
maybe so let's say like I'm in this raid, like okay, in the new midnight raid, like I have a cool outfit. I might want to put that at the top because I'm changing into that more often. You know what I mean?
just
Like
I
create
get
a
it. No,
bunch
I
of
get it. You like
icons and put them
you
in
just
a
built
bar.
one that you saw in your favorites and you like threw
Yeah.
it in there really quickly.
I
Like,
want it
oh
at
wait,
the
I
top.
actually don't like that one. Yeah, I
yeah,
get it.
that's exactly what I was trying to do. Or I was like, oh, these two kind of go together. This one's just slightly different. I want to move it up. And I was like, oh, like, okay, what's the solution? I changed this one out. I pay 1,700 gold for both these slots, and I manually swap over the trans. I was like, dude, that cannot. This is an easy fix. Please do this. This is your next
but
one.
you are to blame for that money because you did not have to do that. You're a little OCD.
I didn't do it. I didn't do
okay.
it. I'm holding out. I'm
So,
holding for my rainbow.
What
like
what
until
you're
they
saying? What you're saying is people should have the list organized before they start creating
Yes,
the transmog.
that's our typical-
Otherwise, they're gonna be stuck.
write your
Yeah.
list out in rainbow order first, and
Rainbow
God help
order.
you if you come up with a new yellow transmog.
Hold on though, Scrap.
that
In
you wanna
fairness,
put halfway up.
these icons have nothing to do with the outfit. So you can make these rainbow order no matter what.
No. I want
No,
the
the
outfits to be
outfits.
rainbow order. I want
But-
the outfits to be rainbow
but you
order.
can't-
She wants
You're not scrolling
my red one
through
at the
them.
top. No, yes, I am. I want my red one at the top and the purple
So
one
what,
at the
you're
bottom.
hitting
So
the
then I
down
know
arrow
my
and
green
going
one is coming
red. You're fucking misrachelling it. Red, orange,
Yeah.
yellow.
No, I just want to like if let's say I make a new transmog and I'm like, this one's very blue, I'll put it in the blue area. And then I'll
Oh
know
my
and I'm like,
gosh.
where was that
Okay,
transmog
so you're
again? I
organizing
scrolled
them.
down. Like
yeah,
I might have
you
OCD.
you're the edge case, man. You're the
I
edge
have,
case.
I have one
Okay.
gripe with this system, and that's
Go.
So for my house, I have the red sweat suit that I think was in one of the more recent trading posts, because my character's at home and chilling, and I have a room transmogged into my hand and stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. I'm upset that there's not an option to have auto switch for the neighborhood specifically, because I have an outfit for when I'm not in my house and I have to go in and switch that myself, as opposed to just leaving my house and being in the right outfit. And
There's
I'm
your
like,
other edge
But
case.
that's an
That's
easy
right.
that's an easy fix in the long term, though, right?
yeah, and I think it's unreasonable to expect that you're going to be able to pick every single location in the game and put it in a box to have it to say like, I want this smog for here specifically, but that's at least one where I'd
Yeah,
like to
like
see them
Scrap
be
wants
like,
each
okay,
dungeon
like,
to have its own mog.
the neighborhood, yeah.
I mean, so here's my like out there take. Well, not out there take, but just like for me personally, I'm not really using the situations. I want to change my outfit consensually. Like I don't want to go somewhere and it changes, right? Like I just it's breaking my immersion, because my character's not gonna snap like poof, she's in a bathing suit the second water touches her skin, like she's in H2O
That's a
or
good
something.
point.
Like
Now it's breaking my
yeah,
immersion.
so
God damn
so
it.
I'm like, you would have to go and change your clothes, right?
Well,
So
now you
like,
need 3 more action bars.
Well, no, I just open up the transmog menu, I scroll through my rainbow, and I pick.
So wait, okay, hold on. So you're telling me that after they give you this beautiful new system, that you still
like
get
it.
on your mount to get the transmogrifier out and change it there?
Not gonna lie, I wasn't aware that you could.
Yeah, I would
could do
same
that.
thing here. I didn't know you could do that without the mount.
Yeah, you can just drag these icons to your bar.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
icons
I
on
don't
the
know if
bar.
you've seen my
you
UI.
We talked about this in the episode last week.
I don't have
Yeah,
20.
we did talk about it.
But I don't have 20.
There's a little animation.
That's why I said,
20
Scrap, that you
bars
need 3 more
available.
action bars to cover this just alone.
But I already have all my action bars full because I have mounts and pets.
Add another action bar.
No, you can only add
God.
like you can only have like you have a maximum amount of action bars, and I have hit it. Like you can't.
I don't think you have.
You
I
can
think
have
add another
up to what's 8 times 12? You can have up to 120 spots on your UI.
But
wow.
And
so
you're
here's
telling
the thing,
me
is
that the 3 spells that they gave you, the other 117 are mounts, and what was it?
Frank, you're not gonna like this answer. Is that some of my action bars I like to have with like only 5 buttons on them because of you'd have to see it. Like you'd have to see it. So I don't have all of them fully filled out, right? And I really don't have a spot to put my transmogs because my screen's very full. Right now.
I bet you can make a spot.
No, there's no
if
room.
you really wanted to. If you really wanted to.
There's no spot. Every spot
I've
is
seen your
All right. We are over 2 hours, so anything else you need to say about transmog?
How dare you? Yes, I wish that you can search like for keywords in the icons, because oh my god, there's like
that's actually been a
7,000
comment,
icons. It's so stupid. Like I understand they probably don't have keywords associated with them, because like they probably haven't been filling that out.
No, but
Maybe
by
they have
Blizzard's
like one
definition,
keyword.
not ours, so we wouldn't know what their keywords
Right,
mean.
exactly. Like, but I just want like there's an ability I know, like Wildfire Bomb, to be able to search that and it like comes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
like
I get
things
it.
that are
That's
like
been
actually
people have been saying that.
Yeah, I think it would
that's
be very
actually a
hard
good one.
though. I think it would be I think it would actually be harder than I think because like there's
Well,
like thousands and thousands of them at this point.
People were complaining about that with macros forever.
Yeah.
And they just never fixed it.
I don't think they're
So-
going to. It seems like kind of a mammoth task to create like a categories like if I typed in the word
juice
bone,
ain't
everything has
worth
a
the
bone in
squeeze,
it.
right, Oski?
It's definitely not. But
Oh
You
my
think where's the
gosh.
squeeze?
here's what I would like is if like kind of when you're making a macro and you type it in, it shows you at the top like things, your spell icons, right? Like these are the things you probably would pick for a macro, and then all the bullshit pants that they've made over the years. Like if like based on what transmog I picked, just like the hat, the shirt, the whatever was all at the top, so that I can be like, oh, that's the hat I'm wearing. It's here already. I feel like that would be
I think
that
it may
hard.
already do that, Scrap.
No, it doesn't. Unless they did it yesterday.
No, what I'm saying
It's
is
in the
like, did
same
you
order.
already equip all the stuff first and then try to do that icon thing?
I think so.
I think
did
it
you
happened for me where I
experience
saw, I
that?
was like, oh, cool, that pulled up all my gear at the top. Because, I mean, again, I may be wrong. I
User
don't know.
error maybe. I'll mess with it or mess with it a bit, but
User
I don't
error.
think it's there. But like as simple as like I don't want to look for an icon for this. I'm just gonna pick the pants as the icon, but instead I have the same 20 things at the top that are probably like
Okay.
A1111.
Okay.
That's why it's at the top. That's
All right.
you asked.
No, I know.
Okay?
I'm like we're
Yep.
we're well over, and I didn't even get to talk about the one thing I wanted to talk about. So, what
Which is
final
what, you
thoughts
wanna
do you
talk
guys
about
have for
Marvel
the week?
Rivals?
My final thoughts for the week are commenters, viewers, anyone who's listening and still with us. I need a good weapon and shield transmog for when I'm inside my house. I don't want to have a sword and shield in there. Right now, I'm rocking a
meat
broom
haunch
and a shield that
And
a
carrots.
shield that kind of looks like a blood or a dustpan kind of deal.
Cute.
But I want to know what you guys think are good transmogs for that, and just what they are and where to get them, so I can have some good ideas. That's it for me.
Last month's trading post had some good stuff because it didn't have all that food stuff.
Great.
It's too
I'll go
late.
to last month's trading post
You
and get
donkey.
That was November, also.
it. Bucko.
Oh, thanks, Scrap. Lithium.
Also, what I was gonna walk into his house in his tracksuit with his giant corn. Like that doesn't fit.
No, there were meat ones.
His corn and his meat.
Lithium. Final thoughts?
Corn and meat. What's that?
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, stay warm.
Yeah,
and if you
please.
lose power, take care of yourself.
Scrap.
No, I like you. I could speak for 2 hours about the Marvel Rivals situation, so I won't say a word.
Maybe if people want it, we'll do it next time.
Well, I'm gonna explain it to Lithian after the podcast ends. So sorry, the people are gonna.
Yeah,
miss out on
we're
it.
gonna be
Yep.
we're gonna be up till 4 a.m. talking about it now, and so
We probably are.
We would put it behind a paywall, but we're not like that.
no, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't want
it's
to
on our
crash out
Patreon.
when people accuse me of stealing the Potty C's viewpoints on.
Just because they
That's
came
just
out
me
before
crashing
us.
out.
Okay,
Yeah.
so hey, I saw Marty Supreme. It was insane.
Oh,
It's a
Absolute-
movie.
What that is?
What is it?
You don't
What's
follow
Marty
Timothy
I don't know what it
Chalamet,
is.
your boy?
I don't know. I'm not a
Yeah.
pop culture kind of guy.
It's sweeping the Oscars. They're saying. I don't know. I went and saw it just
It's
because
kind of a long time, long time until Oscars.
No, they just announced the nominations this week.
Oh, it's going to be for
Sinners
Oh.
I
has
thought
the
you were
most
talking about for
nominations
next
of any
year's.
movie ever.
Sinners is really good. Like honestly,
I wish his last
I'm
name
kind of down with it. It's probably the best movie I've seen this year that came out.
was pronounced Chalamet.
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 I wish that's how they pronounce
Everyone's
it.
saying he's gonna win the best actor, and I mean he did a great job in it, but I don't think it's like that good. And I'm
Marty
kind of worried that
Supreme, I
That's
might
what
have to see
Hollywood is
this
just-
if it's an Oscar. If it's Oscar bait comedy drama, oh, it's one of those.
Oh, interesting.
Gwyneth
What
Paltrow,
was that? What was that Leo movie you made me watch?
Fran
with the island?
Drescher.
yeah.
Shutter Island. We talked about it in the
nanny?
podcast
Oh, yeah,
last
yeah.
week too. I think you loved
the
it, right?
nanny named
Lithian?
Fran. Is
I
in
thought that
this?
was
I gotta-
great.
Okay, I gotta
she's
see
his
this.
mom.
Yeah.
She's his mom. She's
Fran
barely in
Drescher?
it, so don't get too excited.
Fran Drescher.
I was
That's all
really
I
excited.
Anyways,
You don't see Fran Drescher in the wild in 2025 very often.
well,
No,
apparently
good for
there
her.
was-
She's
I was
probably living off those
listening to-
residuals.
I was listening to the main actress. I can't remember her name. She was on late night, and she was saying that Fran Drescher was there when on their last day of filming, and apparently they were going over, and she's the head of the Actors Guild, and so she had to be like, bullshit, we ain't going over. You're getting this done because we are out of here. And so they said they were really, really happy to have her on set.
Oh right,
It-
I knew that she was the head of the Actors Guild. That's what she's been busy with.
Is this like a biopic?
I don't think it's a true story. It kind of plays like
Okay,
one.
good.
I don't know. You can
I don't-
maybe
I don't
Google that for me.
love biopic movies because I don't like the how
Hates
it's kind
reality.
of well, no, I wish they were more real. A lot of them are dramatic. They make things more dramatic than they actually were.
Okay,
like,
so it's
you know.
loosely inspired by the life of Marty Reisman, a legendary.
okay.
So it is based on somewhat of a true story. However, I will tell you this much: if any of it, like to a degree, is true, it is absolute insanity. Like the guy
Okay.
has such an insane week of just shit go like highs and lows to say the least. It is insane, absolutely insane.
Okay,
Nice.
I'll check it out.
Well,
I did not think I was going to go into the movie about ping pong, and by like 3/4 of the way in, going, "What the fuck is going on?" Like it was just insanity.
Frank, it's table tennis. Be more cultured.
Sorry.
Ping pong.
Sorry. Okay, well that's it. Episode 70. We cooked one on a Saturday night. We'll put it up first thing Monday morning. And then hopefully no snowstorms next week where we don't have to do the same thing or don't have any power to begin with. All right, Scrap,
Put
get
it
your
up Sunday. What
power
if you don't
sorted
have
out.
power on Monday?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, but until then,
30 inches of snow.
continue to rebuild your UIs. Continue to complain on Twitter about everything. Give us content when you do it, so we appreciate it. But in the meantime,
Yes, crash out.
yeah, in the meantime, have fun, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye.